Willie's not here, Willie. Willie's not going to join us.
He may be working. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Another weekend means more gigs to queue up. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Another weekend means more gigs to queue up. Another. It's Thursday night. Queue up the next episode. Truck packed tight, every chord, every crate. Another weekend grind, can't be late. School dance, block party, the wedding's underway. But my hands still shake before I press play. Breathe deep, in through that out. Confidence loading, fade that fear out. Every crowd different, but one thing's true. When the music hits right, the stress fades too. I can be a wicked flash, pressure on my mind. Every eye watching, every move time. But I zone in, confidence climb. Through the speakers, my calm break through. Fear fade out like a soft EQ. All that worry, overdue. Anxiety spin out, that's how I do. Hey yo, cue up the next episode. Turn the mics up loud and fade the lights down low. Hey yo, cue up the next episode. It's Thursday night, hey, and another Cue It Up show. Hey yo, cue up the next episode. Turn the mix up loud and fade the lights down low. Cue up the next episode. It's Thursday night, hey, and another Cue It Up episode. Hey yo, cue up the next episode. Turn the mics up loud and fade the lights down low. Hey yo, cue up the next episode. It's Thursday night and another Cue It Up show. Hey yo, cue up the next episode. Turn the mics up loud and fade the lights down low. Hey yo, cue up the next episode. It's Thursday night and another Cue It Up episode.
Before it's time to spin, you've got to first cue it up.
I'm probably in your area too. Everybody who owns a laptop, they're a DJ. Everybody who owns a DSL camera, they're a photographer.
And what I'll do is put up blurbs so therefore you can see what I'm thinking about and why I chose that song. You can see the reaction of the kids. So you
Yes.
can kind of like get an idea of how to use it and what to expect.
Why do you want to charge for something that you have the knowledge of and these other DJs don't have the knowledge of? Share your knowledge, you know?
Right.
But it's DJing's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun too, you know? I'm DJ Mikey Mike. I cover central, northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, parts of New York State.
And I'm Dwayne Dixon, the Hitman D-Dub from Cleveland, Ohio. And it's time to cue it up. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast with me, the Hitman D-Dub, and my co-host, DJ Mikey Mike, and our other DJ friend, DJ Max Saint. We're supposed to be joined by DJ Will, so I gave him the link, so maybe he'll join us later. But DJ Pretty Boy from the Start to Spin show said he'll join us during our second hour after they get finished doing their podcast. So the Cue It Up DJ podcast is a place for DJs of all skill levels to come, connect, learn, and grow. From pro tips to real talk, we're here to support and celebrate the DJ community. So last week was part 1 of our Spanish and Latin genre. And tonight is going to be part 2. So the key takeaways from last week was DJing bilingual or multicultural Latin American events requires deep knowledge of specific genres and cultural nuances. And I didn't realize that until I started doing the show last week. And then the second takeaway was for Latin music, play original versions to respect cultural authenticity and play the whole song to maintain dance flow. And just like I promised, if you go over to our Cue It Up DJ Podcast Facebook group page, inside the public or private group, I put the link to, I'll see, make sure you check out DJ Mikey Mike's video on SSD hard drives and their weight in gold. Because I didn't know he did a video until I was scrolling down and saw his face.
It's unusual, right?
And then here's the link to the blog post. And what I did was basically the blog not only talks about or breaks everything down that we talked about last week, but the 2 main takeaways was all the genres that we talked about and then some. I think there's 18, it says 18 genres here. I made a chart that's easy to follow, and it talked about what makes each genre different. So you'll see the characteristics that goes with each genre. What countries is that genre popular with? And then it gives you like the audience appeal. Who's most likely to like that genre to be played? And then the events, the type of events that you'll play those at. Now I also gave the top 5 songs for each one of those genres and subgenres. But that's only part of it. The other part is also I made a ebook that you can flip through, and it didn't take all 18. It took most popular Spanish and Latin music genres. And with this playbook, it breaks it down into simple terms. You just click on it like a real book. You have the introduction, and kind of like tells you what's in the book. But the key takeaways are the main genres, and it gives you the BPM range of those songs. And it gives you a feel of what kind of feel or vibe would that song give. So it's basically DJ Pacific, like a DJ Pacific resource. And then I also was able to link artists for each one of those genres. And if you click on it, you'll be able to hear it like 15 seconds. I'm going to play a couple of seconds. I don't want to have YouTube copyright my show.
Yeah.
So we've been lucky so far.
Exactly.
So I'm only going to play a couple of seconds. But when you click on it, it'll open up Apple iTunes and you'll get a sample for each one. So you can actually hear the music. And then at the bottom, they give you DJ tips. Like for salsa, it says salsa, a DJ tip for salsa is it's great for peak hour energy, pairs beautifully with cumbia for smooth genre transitions. So now this one was kind of hard to put together, trying to make sure the links and everything goes well.
Yeah.
And then I tried to do my best to make sure the information was correct. So if you all can like do some quality control for me and kind of like, especially the Spanish DJs, make sure the information there is correct, because AI will put some stuff up there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll hallucinate.
Yeah. And then again, this is our second, our part 2 of our 2-parters. And I don't know why I guess I got, let me see. There it is. I don't know why my clicker is always behind. But tonight we're going to talk about the actual Latin events or Spanish events. So we talked about the music. Now let's take a look at the different types of events. Mainly Quinceañeras, since that's the main one I hear all the time. And what's the difference, or see if there's similarities, and then take a look at the differences between a Spanish wedding and the American wedding, or even having a mix when you have a couple that have different cultures. Because I know I was talking to, let me see if I can click this back over to the main screen. Let me see, pull this up real quick. All right, there it is. I keep this in the background. Make sure it doesn't freeze. I know I was talking to DJ Max before the show, and he was telling me about this mixed wedding that he just did. So I'd like to retell it. That's the only thing I hate about talking to people before we get on the show, because we have a good conversation. Then we get on the show, I forget to ask a question, or it's one of those things because I know the story already. I don't think of the proper follow-up. But hopefully I'll remember. But you had good tips for people that have to, DJs that have to deal with multicultural kind of events.
Yeah, the conversation we had was a wedding I did last week where the bride was from Haiti and the groom was Italian and Spanish. Now, I always take playlists from the clients because they're pretty much the managers of the DJ. They want to hear what they want to hear for their celebration. And also, you also put your own input in terms of what's missing from the playlist and how to get the party going all night. With her playlist, since she was from Haiti, I was expecting a lot of the genres from Haiti, like compa and zouk, and another genre that I'm not familiar with called rabodai. Correct me if I'm, pronouncing it wrong. But she only gave me like 3 or 4 songs as I was explaining to Dwayne about it. And then as the guests were filing in before the ceremony, I saw a lot of the groom side of the family, lining up and enjoying it, like kind of like a prelude cocktail hour. And some Haitian guests were walking in too, which were from the bride side of the family. So as I was cleaning up my DJ area, I wanted to take some equipment back to my van because I didn't want to carry extra stuff after the event. So I always try to keep, everything all neat and tidy.
Yeah.
And prevent breaking my back from carrying anything extra. So, the less I have to carry at the end of the event, the better I can get, the sooner I can get home. So
Yes.
so as I was going back to my van, I see this gigantic luxury bus pull up to the venue. And I'm saying to myself, what is this? And then I see a lot of Haitian people filing out of the bus, which was obviously from her side of the family. They're all dressed up and ready to go, ready to party. And I'm saying to myself, why did the bride only give me 3 or 4 songs that were from her side of the family for them to enjoy? And I'm like, this is not going to go very well when the dance floor opens. She gave me a playlist that was pretty much that was like a young playlist from, let's say, Sweet 16s that were from 10 years ago, like a Kona pop style music, a lot of the jumping up and down, pump your fist in the air style music. Blink 182, a lot of the alternative, Mr. Brightside, the Killer style music, and all that kind of stuff. And it just sounded like to me a Sweet 16 that was 7 to 10 years ago. And she purposefully made that kind of playlist for me, for her to enjoy with her and the bridesmaids, her friends, her college friends, and high school friends as well from back in the day. But I'm saying to myself, as I'm seeing this whole busload of people come out, I'm like, I have to at least cater to them as well for the celebration. I don't want nobody from her side of the family sitting down, looking at me saying, how about us? You're gonna, take something for us too. So once the ceremony was done, the Wi-Fi at the venue was quite strong. luckily for me, I'm telling you right now, I was able to finish this event by the skin of my teeth. Everybody was dancing by the end of the night, and luckily, and also the bride gave me a 5-star review because she was impressed that I was able to get everybody up and dancing. Reason why? Because I was able to do my research with Gemini AI, and I asked Gemini, listen, I need an emergency playlist of 10 Haitian style celebratory songs to play at a wedding reception. Give me 10 songs that older people will enjoy. Give me 10 songs that younger people will enjoy, and give me 10 more songs that all generations can enjoy at the same time. So during cocktail hour, I was able to download through Spotify and Serato almost like 30 different types of compa songs, zouk songs, for her side of the family to enjoy. And I was able to, let's say, preview it and hear it. And some of them were like really upbeat and had like a nice Caribbean style flow to it. And some of them were kind of like slow and romantic, kind of like a slow merengue. And a lot of them were like, a lot of them were like really jumpy style, Caribbean style music, similar to Soca Boys, Follow the Leader, right? So during the beginning of dinner time, I played a lot of the slow style compa songs. And then I had an immediate reaction from her side of the family because they were looking at me like, oh, he's playing our kind of music. And everybody started swinging in their seats, raising their hands up in the air because they were familiar with the song, via, the suggestion from Gemini. So I was able to at least get at least 30 songs downloaded during dinner time and during cocktail hour to satisfy at least her side of the family because I really felt something in my spidey sense that I should get some songs for her side of the family and get things going with her before I start really queuing up all the songs that she wants to hear with the younger side of the crowd. So, and I knew that if I catered to her side of the family, especially the older folks, usually they leave early, and it just happens they left early, but they were able to dance first and enjoy themselves before I started playing to the younger crowd late into the night. So that's kind of like one way to save yourself, just in case you run into trouble with playing genres that you're not familiar with. Like the Gemini tool or the AI tool is a nice way to like compile some songs in a emergency situation, like with mine, for example. So I had like 5-star review, thumbs up from the bride and groom, and they loved everything. So which was great.
Okay. And so if you're a virtual DJ 2026 user, you can do it right there inside of virtual DJ, and then they'll give you the list of songs, and then the songs is right there for you to click on or find easier without having to go outside the DJ program and bring it in. So my question is, because I remember my first wedding was a multicultural kind of wedding. The bride was American, but the groom was like a Spanish descendant. So how did you manage to like rotate and make sure everybody was involved? How did you manage to work the room?
What from the wedding that I've experienced last week? In terms of the Haitian attendance?
Yeah, where you had.
Working the room was interesting because I let guests know that I have a QR code request card on all their tables according to the package that the client purchased, where they can make requests. And some of those requests were similar to the music that I downloaded for the Haitian side of the family. So I've noticed that based on all those requests, I should cater to the Haitian side of the family first, and then get things going with the younger crowd, which were pretty much 25 and up, because they were kind of like downing all the drinks and they wanted to have a good time, and I knew that they wanted to hear their music, immediately, kind of like almost a half an hour after the older set that was being played. Okay. I figured that, like I said before, since older people usually leave earlier in a wedding celebration and the younger people stay late, and they're the ones that are always, shouting one more song. I figured that if I played, let's say, the older people music first, they can enjoy themselves and have a great time without being, let's say, bumped over by the younger crowd and being, let's say, put on the back burner in terms of celebrating the bride and groom. So I began with the older people first, and then mixed it up with like where everybody can enjoy themselves at the same time. And I noticed that when the bride and groom came back from sunset photos from outdoors, and you noticed that the dance floor was jumping after photos. I saw them creeping into the dance floor, and then I slowly mixed in what the bride and groom wanted to hear after the older folks enjoyed themselves. It was almost like perfect timing too. So once the bride and groom entered the venue after their sunset photos and they were on the dance floor enjoying themselves, then I kind of like transitioned into the younger folks' music. And I noticed that the older folks, took a back seat and they were enjoying themselves regardless. And then they ended up joining the dance floor again later on when I came back to Haitian hits, and then went back to the same flow in terms of older people, back to younger people. And then by the end of the night, it was pretty much just younger people for the rest of the night.
Okay. So what request app do you use?
I designed my own request system through Wix. What I did was I created a QR code link to a specific page on my website, which is the requests page. And then when people enter their information on an email form for the request, I specifically make it look like a request sheet. I want their name, their email to communicate with me, just in case they want to, send me a message about the request. Usually they send me a fake email anyway, but sometimes when they send me a real email, I'll let them know like this song is on the do not playlist. I'm not going to play that song. Or I'll let them know like, oh, your song's coming next. Make sure you're on the dance floor, not sitting in your chair doing seat dancing. You know what I'm saying? I'll put them on the spot too. So, but yeah, I ended up making a QR code which is attached to my page that's hidden on my website in the background that's only accessible to people that scan the code on the table. And then I receive a notification on my phone. I have this phone set up next to my, I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
Yeah.
I set up my phone next to my laptop, and my phone has notifications of the requests that are coming in from the guests that scan the QR code. So it's not a specific service that I'm using because the Wix was able to give me the tools to create my own little QR code system and my own little request page, customized on Wix. So.
Yeah, I would have never thought about using it like that, like a almost like a event questionnaire-ish kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's like an email form. It's called an email form on Wix website designs. I'm sure Squarespace has something similar. You just create a QR code, make an email form, and then make a customized notification system where your phone lights up every time you receive an email request for the request. It's really easy to do. It's like once you see it, you can reply back right away to the customer with the real email, and just put whatever song, let's say, complements the client's playlist. Sometimes a groomsman or a friend that's personal to the bride and groom will ask for a joke song, like a Taylor Swift song, even though they don't want to hear Taylor Swift or whatever. I try to avoid those kind of songs, and you can almost sniff out the ones that seem like it's a joke type of song or just a bad request, so to speak. Or let's say people want to hear dance music and then suddenly you see AC/DC Highway to Hell. So it doesn't really match up. So
Yeah, you tell someone's looking for a little trouble or
exactly
stir up some stuff, which is unfortunate, but that does happen,
Right.
Yeah.
So
But sometimes, sorry to interrupt, but sometimes an older person will make a special request, and I can see that it's different from the bride and groom's playlist, but sometimes I'll entertain it because it becomes a big family moment. Like I did an Irish Italian wedding in North New York, and someone asked for Shipping Out to Boston by Dropkick Murphys. You familiar with that song?
Yep.
And the thing is, it was and also the bride was Puerto Rican, but I felt like I should play that song because the groom was part Irish, and I figured the aunt was asking for it. And once I played the song, the aunt looked at me with this big eyes. Oh my gosh, you're playing this song! And then suddenly she got all the uncles and aunts onto the dance floor to kind of form a circle around the bride and groom, and then they were really partying with that particular song. So it was it was like a nice little thing to make me look like the star of the night, playing that song for the parents,
Yeah, because I like moments like that because it was a couple of weddings that I did where, like for example, for Dumb Blondes, that it's like a sing along song. To me, when I first heard it, I was like, this is kind of like weak, but it was one of those things they kept requesting it. And since it was nothing really happening on the dance floor, I was like, okay, this would be the time to play because, I didn't build up any momentum. Yes. But as soon as I dropped it, it was like I didn't realize it had such an impact on them. Everybody came out and started singing it, and I ended up playing it 4 times. I normally don't repeat songs, but it's like play it again. So I did it. I did a polka one And I only did it because, again, it's just like your situation where the grandma wanted the polka song. But so with that one, I wasn't sure how it was going to work. So I told everyone to come and join grandma on the floor. When I played the polka song, I wasn't expecting them to start dancing and doing the conga kind of line going around the room. So songs like that, I like to have those surprises when you drop it and it happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Entertaining the real older folks, especially grandparents, if they're attending and you feel like they're party animals, you definitely want to, throw them like even Sweet Caroline sometimes works like an old 50s hit. You'll be surprised that they'll get up and start dancing first, and then the rest of the family will join them because it's like a nice moment to see the older folks, especially grandparents, dancing.
Yes. Sweet Caroline, I think, came out in 68 or 69, and the Archies beat it out for #1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With Sugar
and
Sugar,
the
was it?
Archies, I think it was 68.
Okay.
And the Archies, oh my God, what song was it? I can't think of the song by the Archies.
I know.
Sugar, oh, honey, honey.
Yeah, Sugar, yeah.
That beat out Neil Diamond. And it was another top group too that they beat out. I was like, wow. And back then there was no AI. It was just a fictitious song, Oh, not a fictitious song, fictitious group, the Archies.
Yeah, that's right. They had the comic books and the cartoon.
Yeah.
All right. So since we're talking about events, so which Spanish event do you like to do? Or do you do more of weddings or the quinceañeras or other type of Spanish events? Max.
Well, I love doing weddings. I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban, and I want to apologize to all my Puerto Rican peoples out there and Cuban peoples, but Ecuadorian weddings are my favorite weddings to do.
How come? So what happens?
Because they will skip dinner to start dancing on the dance floor. They will go hungry to dance all night. It's just amazing. Even if it's a mixed wedding, where I did a Nika Maritza wedding. Maritza was Ecuadorian and he was Italian. The Ecuadorian side of the family will find somebody sitting down and drag them to the dance floor where everybody is. They are the party starters of weddings. Like they will dance all night, and it's like, and if you're familiar with their songs, they will love you forever. Grab your card and hire you for the next event. It's like it's great. I do well with Colombian, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, whatnot. But when it comes to Ecuadorians, it's hands down, they are the party animals of the wedding dance floor celebration. So just it's facts.
So do they have the same kind of timeline as a normal wedding, or do they have added cultural kind of traditions added to it?
Yeah, good question. Mexicans have that added cultural extras to weddings, but a lot of the South American weddings follow the same format in terms of the entrances, the first dances, speeches. In Spanish is called lo brindi, or los discursos and stuff like that. So it follows the same format. Sometimes you'll have extra people in the family that want to speak per table.
Yes.
But I remember I talked with you about an Ethiopian wedding I did. When it comes to Ethiopian weddings and making speeches, you're going to have at least 10 to 15 people talking on the mic for speeches because the whole family has to speak about the bride and how they love the bride and how they're going to, give, let's say, marriage advice, so to speak. For Spanish people, it's a little bit more lean, but it's more like, I feel like in modern day sense, you want to get a lot of the formalities out of the way and start dancing because it's more all about dancing and celebrating the bride and groom versus talking and eating a lot. So
Okay.
you want to get straight to the dancing, especially with Ecuadorian people, like I said before. So
Okay. And then I'm checking out the chat and I see the Moose is in the chat. I like to welcome him. Because he does a lot of like Spanish kind of weddings because he's down there in Texas.
Awesome. Oh,
Yep.
nice.
And see what else is going on. And I see Cool Thing and the DJ Troll is back. He's in the chat. And Cool Thing said he did a Latin festival at his church.
Nice.
I had the opportunity of doing quinceañeras and Latino weddings. And I'll tell you, I will take a Latino wedding over a quinceañera any day. Because, I mean, I'm so used to doing stuff for weddings, which wasn't bad. And then you go to get quinceañera, it is so different. I mean, it's laid out like a wedding, but it's so much more detailed. With a wedding, you have a little give and take. Quinceañera, no, it's just boom. It's like playing darts and hitting a bullseye every single time. That's what you got to do. There's no 2-second, mistake or break. It's just boom, 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 boom.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
fortunately, I had an MC for every quinceañera,
Awesome.
which was great, because I don't speak Spanish, and he did all the first one was a female. She did all the announcements, and she gave me that, and boom, the song came on. And same thing with the gentleman. He gave me a cue, boom, the song came on. But they get paid, both of the guy, the lady and gentleman, the money they made that night from emceeing them. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, wow. And then they asked me what I got paid, and they're like, no. When you do the quinceañera, you gotta charge. Well, you don't know, especially being an American. I see them on YouTube, but the DJ doesn't say what he's getting paid. It's just, hey, I'm doing a quinceañera. That's it, But there's so much detail in it. It's unreal.
So since you brought it up, let's go. Remember, we got to stretch this for 2 hours. So don't give us a little nugget and leave us hanging. So you got to go into the details. You know how we do it on this show. We got to do a deep dive.
Well, it was the first family booked me for a quinceañera, and the dad, he spoke very, very little English. The mom spoke no English at all. So the daughter was translating everything to me from them, and she assured me that the MC will have everything properly worked out for me. She'll have everything typeset. I said, all right, that's great. I said, but make sure it's a bigger typeset, because with these eyes there, I need it bigger. So she had no problem. And they had every song that I had to play that was a part of their whole ritual.
Yes.
Every song right in order. Boom, 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 and it was great. And same thing with the second one. They had everything right in order. And then I also did another one. It was a quinceañera, but they treated it like an American Sweet 16 with a lot of Latino music, which was totally different. They did have an MC there also. He didn't get us paid as much as the other two MCs did, but it's so phenomenal to see how intriguing these quinceañeras are, and how much stress they could put on a DJ as compared to a wedding. You got your announcements to your grand entrance, first dance with parents, toast, cutting the cake, all this little simple stuff that you're so used to doing for a wedding. And they may add one or two little different things in there, but they're still basically following the American format for a DJ for an American wedding. I did a not to jump from Mexican to Polish, but a Polish wedding, there was one separate thing that was different than the American wedding. The mom had salt she had to throw over her shoulder. She had a loaf of bread she had to break up and give to everybody in the wedding party.
Yes.
And it was, you see stuff like that you're not used to seeing. So it is unique. And same thing with the Mexican weddings I keep saying Mexican, Latino weddings. They were basically the same format as an American wedding, except one or two little different things that really, it wasn't a big hindrance on me, like the quinceanera, I was like, oh my God, I'm sweating bullets here, like, please don't let me mess up. I have everything queued up. Let me hit play when I have to hit play. And Jesus,
One thing at a time, one thing at a time, right?
yeah, exactly. And everything is so beautiful.
Yes.
And basically, I told the couples I'll be bringing my lights and everything. I didn't have to bring my lights, especially for the second one. They must have went out, and they weren't expensive lights that they bought off Amazon, but they must have bought $3,000 worth of these cheap lights that, I mean, it lit up the whole hall. I mean, they had stuff going on the stairways. There was a three-tier steps coming up into it. They had lights coming all the way up the stairs. I'm like, oh my Lord, unbelievable.
Yes.
And then the following week at the same venue, I was downstairs doing an Indian party. And upstairs, they had another quinceanera, but they had a mariachi band. And you want to talk about loud? Wow, unbelievable. I mean, they no
put,
DJ
they put the
can
gain
compare
they
it.
put the gains really high up on the mariachis, right?
Yes, they had three gentlemen working the soundboard, two gentlemen working the lights. I
Wow.
mean, and then when they started blowing the horns, I'm like, oh, but it was so, even though it was so loud, it was so crystal clear. If it, as a DJ, if you didn't ever experience even just going to one, if you hear, one of your buddies that are a DJ and they're DJ at Quinceañera or they're DJing a Latino wedding, go to it. Just in case you get asked to do one, you'll have somewhat of a knowledge of what you're going to be expected to do. Because if you don't and you say yes, you're in for a rude awakening, especially at Quinceañera,
So let me get this straight. So a Spanish wedding is the timeline and everything would be pretty much similar to our American wedding.
Yes.
But then a quinceañera, it sounds like it's more of a production as opposed to a regular party, whereas they tell you, and there's a strict, I guess you could say, timing for everything. So they basically tell you everything. They give you everything. It's not free flowing as opposed to a wedding.
No, there's more pageantry and there's more there's a lot more formalities happening at the beginning of the quinceañera. Almost like, I'm sure Mike would agree, like almost an hour's worth of stuff happening before dinner time, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You have your the introduction, and you have the parents come in,
Yes.
then the court come in. The second one that I did, it was beautiful. That they were like a sky blue dress on with like a white lace on top of them, and the guys had a sky blue top on with white pants. They wore
They're all
cowboy
matching, right?
boots.
They're
Oh
all
yeah,
matching?
everything
That's
was all
crazy.
matching. They had white cowboy hats on. The women wore like I guess like a bonnet style or something on their head, but everything matched perfectly. The only thing is, the one girl was on her way there and there was an accident, and everything just had to cease. Boom, stop playing music, nobody do nothing. So, for about 35 minutes, we just sat around doing nothing at all. I mean, they didn't want to hear no music, no nothing. Once that girl got there, then we could start playing the music again. Then we did, the parents got introduced. Then, the quinceanera started. The young girl gets introduced with her whole party. Then she goes up with the roses and the changing of the shoes, dancing with her court, dancing with her father.
Yes.
She danced with her mother. She danced with her grandmother. She danced with her grandfather. She danced with an uncle. I mean, she went down the whole procession, I guess, of everybody who was close, very close to her. It was, honestly, it was so, so beautiful. It was unbelievable.
Well, before those things get kicked off, don't forget they have to do sometimes if the if La Quinceañera is not wearing the tiara, they're gonna do like
Oh,
the
yeah,
little tiara
tiara.
crowning
Yes,
and the exchange of the shoes.
yes, yes. The
Yeah,
shoes. She went from shoes to sneakers. This one,
yeah,
I don't know if I heard the one before that went from sneakers to shoes.
yes.
This one went from shoes because she had high heels coming in,
Hmm.
and then she went to sneakers. Because when they did their court dance, it was a little bit quicker, and she was spinning around a lot. So I guess she felt more comfortable dancing with sneakers on. Then her heels are like 4.5, 5 inches high, so she was short too. So it was so cute because some of the guys were taller, and I praise everybody that was in that court. There's a few that were Latino, but the rest are more American. But the grandfather, I guess he must have been a choreography because it seemed like everything was choreographed right down to the T. And he was the main person that they were looking at. And when he did something, they did something. When he did something else, they did something else. So and from what I was told, they practiced this for like a month
Yeah, wow.
prior to the quinceañera. It was really, Dwayne, have you ever done one?
No, because if you
Honestly,
listen to your story, it reminds me of a debutante kind of ball. Debutante ball,
yes,
is it similar to that?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. If you
Coming
know
of
a,
age type of ceremony.
okay.
Coming of age, yeah.
if you know a DJ that's going to be doing one, just ask me if you could tag along. Say, hey, I'll help you load in and load out, so I could just be there, just to soak everything in and take your 360 camera with you. So this way you'll have a recording of it and you can say, all right, I know what I have to do here and I know what I have to do there. Because I mean, it is truly, truly amazing.
So how long is it then? Because it sounds like could be a all
Oh,
day event.
mine, the first one was 6.5 hours, and the last one was from 4 o'clock to midnight, 8 hours.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But then when the food came out, they sat down. It was like almost 2 hours they sat and ate for, which that surprised me because the first one was only just like a regular wedding, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But this one was like over 2 hours. But everything was served. They say nothing was prepared before. It was being prepared while the people were waiting. So it was being cooked fresh for them right there. And amazing. I mean, the
Nice.
venue isn't Latino, the venue is Indian, but they hired people to come in to cook the Hispanic food for for the quinceañera. I mean, the food was wonderful. Everything about it was beautiful. I mean, so beautiful, so beautiful.
so with the quinceañeras, since there are so many formalities and traditions, do they have like a generic kind of? I know all events aren't the same, but is there like some similarities as far as timeline goes?
The I would say the roses and the shoes are you have to do that. That's a must for if you're doing like a generic quinceañera or you're doing a regular quinceañera. Shoes and the roses are definite, and dancing with the court.
I mean, like
Oh,
like a
like a
wedding is
timeline?
generally a wedding starts off with the official start of a reception would start off with the grand entrances, and then you have the order that you introduce the bridal
Yes.
party, and then you can
Yes.
either go into the first dances or you can go into
Oh
the
no,
toast and the dinner. So is there like a boom 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 outline of
yeah, there's an outline you have to follow for everything. I mean, it's just step by step by step by step by step by step until it gets to the part like when she danced with her. I think it was the last one she danced with was her grandfather. Then everybody got relaxed.
Hmm.
Yeah, then everybody sat down. They started eating. After they ate, her and the court got back up to dance again. But then all the members, all the young ladies and the young man went and they got changed into like their regular clothes, and so did she. Even she went out and got changed into her regular dress to dance for the rest of the night.
I'm feeling like I'm a lawyer asking the defendant a question. This is like I got asked leading questions. All right, so specifically, remember, I never did I'm a non-Spanish DJ. I never did a quinceanera or really seen one outside of something I seen on YouTube. So you gotta break it down. So like specifically, do.
Yeah, I was basically in your same shoes when I got asked to do my first one, and then the second one, I had a little bit of knowledge, and it was just you have a introduction of the parents, introduction of I
Sometimes the grandparents are included in that as well.
yes,
You know,
the
yeah,
grandparents came in first, then the
yeah.
parents, then the one aunt and uncle, and I
Mhm.
think there was another aunt that got included,
Which is the
and then
godparents, I believe. The godparents are also included.
godparents,
Because
yes, godparents,
sometimes they'll have a church ceremony before the reception
yes,
for
and
like a blessing
yes,
on the girl as
and
well.
then the priest was there. After all the formality dances and everything were done, the priest was there and he gave a blessing over the young girl and he gave a blessing
Yeah.
over everybody. I Wait, it would take me a good hour and a half to explain every formality of this because I mean
Well, we in
there's
luck
so
because an
much.
hour and a half would take us to our 11 o'clock mark. So, go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, it's
after the court and the blessing
Okay.
comes the quinceañera girl next with her chamberlain or her escort. So
yes,
and then you have all the other stuff like Mike said, like the tiara crowning, the exchange of the shoes. I was actually writing everything down from what he was saying, and then also and sometimes I did a couple of quinceañeras that involved an heirloom that was given from the grandmother to the granddaughter, like a
yes,
brooch or a necklace or something that was from the grandmother's marriage, given to the granddaughter. It's similar. It's
yes,
really similar to that other tradition. Something borrowed, something new
mhm,
from the
yes,
mother to the bride for her wedding day. Same thing with this particular
yes,
situation. And then what else? Like Mike said, the dances with the parents. Sometimes they have the roses, the court dance, and then dinner time to gather up all those calories for dancing.
mhm.
So
I'll tell you when they after dinner time when they let loose to dance, um, the first hour and a half, 2 hours was basically Latino music. Then after that, the mom, again, she didn't speak English at all. The dad, again, he spoke very little English, but she came over. She had a translator, and she said, "Okay, you could open up to American music now, and then just throw a couple Latino songs in there, whatever the kids want to hear." So the kids are coming up and requesting music, and they weren't telling me it was dirty, and I don't understand Spanish. So I
mm.
put the song on, and next thing you know, Grandma was like looking at me. I'm like, "Uh-oh, this must be a bad song," you know. So then,
Look for the letter E next to that track.
Mhm.
yeah, I'll tell you, I was like, "Okay, here we go," you know. So the MC did say, he goes, "Listen," he said, "Will they come up and request a song?" He said, "Show it to me first, and I'll let you know if it's explicit or if it's okay to play." I said, "All right, thank you." You know, because again, I'm being thrown into a foreign language which I don't understand, and when I do the school dances, according to the teachers, if we can't understand it, play it. So, but when you have people out in the audience that can understand it, that aren't kids, that understand Spanish, but these are adults and they know what the exact meaning of those words are. It's like, that's a no go for you, But it is, Dwayne, honestly, I don't know. And she's, if you know a DJ in your area, like I
Mm.
said, offer them, say, "Hey, I'll help you load in, load out. Do you mind if I come take some video?" You have to really, truly experience. I could sit here and explain it to you and go down from point A through point Z, but it's like whitewater rafting. If you never did it, you never had that experience. It's the same thing. If you never had that experience doing a quinceanera, believe me, It is so great. It's unbelievable. Yeah, you really have to experience it. Even though I didn't understand every part of it, just seeing it and feeling you could feel the love that's in that room. And I got done. I broke down at midnight, and they stayed there. They were there till 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
I was like, oh, I asked him. I said, "Do you want me to stay?" No, Mike, you did such a great job. I got a $400 tip from that quinceañera. I'm like, I mean, they
That's that's the groceries for me right there.
yeah, honestly, I've done a lot of, not a lot. I've done probably about 2,000 American weddings. I get tips, but when you do something like this for people that you don't know, that aren't of your same traditions, that their traditions are different than my traditions, and they come off and they give you a $400 tip, I'm like, I could not believe it. It just shocked me, I'm like,
You did
wow.
good. You did good.
Yeah, yeah. I was really shocked, but I did learn a good lesson from the MC. You're doing a quinceanera, you got to charge more money. He said, charge. I'm like, okay. He said, Mike, you didn't realize this is more of like a wedding, or everything was planned out. That first hour and a half, maybe close to 2 hours. Dwayne, if you have to take a pee, the best thing to do, put a pair of Depends on. You get there, because if you have to pee, you can't. You can't. There's gonna be a puddle down below. It's just because everything it's happening so quick, and you can't say, "Hey, wait, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little emergency here." There's no time for emergency.
Well, during dinner time, you have a chance. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. During dinner time, yeah, you could take your break, go to the bathroom, whatever. But when all the main stuff, like right in the beginning, when everything is happening, there's yeah, I was like, okay. And I just had my fingers on my board, looking at the guy, boom, nailed it. Boom, nail that one, like, thank God.
yeah, I noticed after dinner time for some of the quinceañeras I do on the east side of the U.S., that once all the intros are done, the parents, the court, the quinceañera girl, the tiara crowning and exchange of the shoes, and then the dances with the parents. There's also the blessing, like I said before, from the
Yes.
priest or a pastor, and then the parents talk, and then dinner time comes. I noticed that after dinner time, I don't know if you experienced this, they do the kind of like the father figure dance, or the dancing of the roses, where a lot of the uncles and cousins will line up on the dance floor with a rose,
Yes.
and they'll dance to a specific waltz with the daughter. So,
Yes, that's what they did there too.
yeah,
Each one of them had a rose, and she went right around
yeah,
to every one of them.
yeah. And it's a nice little rose, and then
I,
after that, usually the dance floor opens, and then later
I mean,
on they'll involve that American tradition, like the candle ceremony near the end of the event for the
yes.
American guests attending. So
Honestly, like I said, if it's so hard, there's so much detail in it to sit down and really to explain it from point A to point M, I'll say. Because from N to Z is the American, it's open dance floor, and it's, Latino music, American music. But from A to M, everything is, it's like shooting darts. You got to hit a bullseye every single time. There's no margin for error. We're all human. We all do make mistakes, but you don't want to make this mistake during that part there.
So Max,
yeah,
so since everything is on a strict timeline, because it's like I also did music for plays and stuff, so I know what it means to hit your musical cues and your blocking and all that.
yes.
So with your timeline, I've just lost my train of thought. Well, I was trying to find. It had to go back to the timeline, the details on the timelines. So how do your consultation goes with your couples, not couples, but the clients that's doing the quinceañeras.
Yeah. Sometimes with me, I'll explain the quinceañera to the parents. Sometimes the parents are familiar with it, but they're not familiar with the full details of it. Um, Occasionally, some of the daughters just don't want to go through the formalities and just go straight to the dance party. Some traditional parents want to do everything. So
Mhm.
I do have all the steps to take them through from beginning until the end, from the announcements, the parents, the court, the tiara crowning, the exchange of the shoes, and the first dance. It depends. It also depends how much is allotted to the event schedule. Like if it's a 4 hour quinceañera, then you really have to truncate the beginning of the announcements and eliminate some things to give more room to the dance floor and celebrating.
Yes.
If it's like a 6 hour, 7 hour event, and they're saying it's a quinceañera, then everything is going to happen.
Yeah.
From cocktail hour to the announcements, all the traditions. And then when I'm sitting down with the client, I always ask them first, how long is your event? And if it's a short event, I'll tell them, listen, this is the whole layout of the quinceañera announcements and traditions. Let me know which ones are important to you, and we can incorporate those in the announcements and the schedule. And if they hire my MC, I have my MC go through it. I go through it with the MC as well. And then also, if it's something that's really long-winded, like a 7 hour or a 6 hour quinceañera, which is almost like a full day wedding, I let them know, like, listen, we should do everything to fill up the space in terms of the beginning traditions. And then depending on when the venue's serving dinner, we are able to fit in so many things at the beginning in terms of the traditions and the dances with the parents, and then we can go into dinner time comfortably without feeling rushed, so to speak. So it all depends what's allotted to the client in terms of how long the event is. And then once I walk them through everything and they're comfortable with what they want, especially with the daughter, because sometimes the daughter doesn't want to go through everything because everything's all on her. But I always try to remind the parents and the daughter that, listen, we are celebrating you, and you're going to be surrounded by loved ones. You're not going to be put on the spot. I always try to reassure the client that, listen, I don't do any types of gimmicks or any types of embarrassing situations. It's always based on the parents' love for the daughter as well as the family that's attending, celebrating the daughter and her milestone in this event. And plus, let them know this is like a Spanish thing. It's a Spanish tradition. It's
Yes.
all about you. So let's have all the attention on you without any types of embarrassing moments. So, and then
Uh,
once the parents are satisfied with the timeline, I let them know with the official timeline and what type of music they want and stuff like that, and what type of special effects, like a dancing on the clouds with the father-daughter dance, so on and so forth, as well as the blessings. And then if the daughter, let's say, has a court dance or a surprise court dance, I usually try to have that happen after dinner time because it acts like a dance floor opener, especially with young people attending. So let them know, listen, when you're done with your court dance and people do like a round of applause, I can open up the dance floor with your first favorite dance track, and then you start waving in guests onto the dance floor to join you and start partying all night. So, and it's like I always try to leave that let's say that responsibility to the client. If they're on the dance floor and they're waving guests in, it's like they have no choice but to listen to them versus listening to the DJ saying, "Hey, the dance floor is open, let's party." I usually try to have that responsibility on the client on who that's on the dance floor waving guests in, because of it's like they invited the guests to celebrate, so they had no choice but to listen to the client versus me. So
Okay.
I,
So,
I mean,
therefore, the DJ is not necessarily the DJ MC is not necessarily a package. It could be someone that's hired outside the DJ to specifically
yes.
keep like host the event.
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
I mean,
Okay.
what the one I did, it was the MC and his wife, and they had the whole timeline figured out. Well, they didn't figure out the whole timeline. Um, the parents they were younger than me. I want to say like by now they'd be maybe about 57, 58. So they were in their early to mid 40s when they had her. And like her oldest brother, I think was like in his middle 30s. So I mean, it was there was a big gap between the oldest and the youngest, and she was the youngest. So they were very traditional, the parents, And then you had the grandparents that the grandmother, oh, you weren't going to pull nothing over on her. It has to be this way, and that's it. There was no skipping, no. Everything had to be done to tradition. That was it.
Yes, yes. And sometimes you'll notice that from some different from depending on the culture, sometimes they'll involve a Chamberlain and the Quinceañera girl special dance.
Yeah.
Or if the Quinceañera
Yes.
girl has a boyfriend that the parents allow, they do a little
Yes.
dance with her. And also sometimes there is a last doll given away to the Quinceañera girl's younger cousin to kind of like signify that's the last toy she was going to play with. So it's called la última muñeca, or like the last doll given away to her younger sibling, and so on and
Oh,
so forth. So
yeah. I
so
mean,
yeah.
it's so nice to like. I was a part of it, and to see that, to really be a part of something so different than what I was so used to doing, like a Sweet 16. Sweet 16 to me is just nerve-wracking because the kids just want to hear this rap, and I mean, not good rap songs. It's just like killing and this and that. And then to be a part of something so beautiful that you don't hear any of that crazy music. And even when the open dance floor came out, yes, it was Latino music, it was dance music, but there was none of that. There was some rap music in there, but nothing bad. It was rap danceable music, so which was great. But everything was so exquisite, it was unreal.
All right, so I was looking up. I use VIBO for my timeline management and all that, because that's what I was trying to get to. Because it's got to be some kind of. It's not a free for all, but you can. There's got to be some kind of like flow or timeline that you talk to the your clients. So it sounds like a lot of them don't know about Quinceanera, because I was trying to figure out, do they dictate, since everything is spot on, how much of that has to have to fall on the DJ knowing all the specifics, or how much of the specifics is given to the DJ from the client, or is it like a combination of the two?
It's it's a combination of the two in my opinion, but
yeah, it's a combination of, honestly, the two of them that I did, and the third one, but the first two were traditional quinceañeras. It was the parents and the godparents, and then like the first one, I think it was only the grandma that was surviving, like the surviving grandparent. Before the second one was both grandparents from both sides, the mom and dad's side of the family, but they relayed everything to the MC. The MC put everything together. He gave it back to them. They okayed it. The MC gave it to me. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, it was like he was the coordinator plus MC. And we talked about, I want to say, about 10 times. And then the last week and a half, we must have spoke 6 or 7 times more, because he was just going over everything with me. He was very, you heard him speak on the phone. He talked just like me and you, like there was no accent, there was no, and then when I went there and he's rolling his R's, he says, I'm like, oh, thank God you're doing this, because I would really mess it up,
So it sounds like an MC. An MC is not just a MC that, like a MC like the way that we think a MC would be, like at a wedding or anything. It's all the MC for a quinceanera almost acts like a wedding coordinator or a wedding planner kind of person.
Yes.
Okay. But
yes, especially with the quinceañera, because there's so many moving parts that you have to have somebody take the lead in terms of making those moving parts work one after another. Sometimes people won't pay attention in terms of the excitement. I'm sure they're not being disrespectful to the event, but sometimes when you're trying to wrangle up a lot of people that's involved with the quinceañera, especially something as large as a court and the parents, you have to have somebody take the lead in terms of taking charge of making people paying attention that this is going to happen next and that. and the announcements have to be like really loud and clear, especially for the parents, because the parents are nervous and want to make sure everything's going great for their daughter. And it's
Yeah.
like you have to make sure those announcements are done clear, and you almost have to hold the parents' hand to let them know like this is going to happen next, and you want to respectfully introduce the father for the father-daughter dance. And usually they're standing, even though you'll go over every detail with the client, at least a week before the event. I always tell them, listen, you might forget some things, but take it upon me if I'm leading the event with emceeing and DJing, or if I'm working with an MC, you can always count on me to, step, in the celebration to make sure you're not going to
Yes.
forget anything. So it's like,
I mean, it's there's a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, but a lot of the details are laid upon the MC, and he honestly, thank God he was there, because he really walked me right through it. Him and his wife, they had almost a 3-hour drive to come in to MC this. Then they were leaving that
well,
night, and then he had to go do another one that Sunday. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, but what he got paid for the two MC jobs it was phenomenal. But again, he did such a great job. Again, the whole event, you really have to experience one. And there was at one point I went to the bathroom, I snuck outside to have a quick cigarette, and there were some American families. They were like, that was so beautiful. I mean, it's actually, there's more detail in that than a wedding. And the thing is,
You keep
everything
saying
is
that, but
so
you're not giving us any specifics about the detail.
well. The details are like, okay, with a wedding, you say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta please find your seats. Da da da. Okay, we're gonna introduce our parents of the bride, so parents of the groom, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we're gonna go on to our bridal party. With the quinceañera, it's all right. The MC takes over. The DJ doesn't say nothing. The DJ is just ready to play the music. When he gives you a thumbs up to start that, he'll give you the list of music of what goes first, second, third, fourth. So he'll do the announcements, say it might be the grandparents walking in first, or it might be the godparents. But usually the ones I did, it was the grandmother for the first one, and the second one was the grandparents of the bride, all right, grandparents of the mom, grandparents of the dad, and each one had a specific song to come into. And I had to play the whole song. I mean, the songs weren't long, and it's not like Suavemente or anything like that. You hear that's 6.5 minutes long, or anything from Bad Bunny that's like 4 or 5 minutes long. These were traditional Mexican songs, and they were short, they were sweet, they were like a polka, short, sweet, to the point, and boom, they were introduced. And then when it came time for the young girl to come in, she did come in with her boyfriend, which again, that's up to the mom and dad to allow or not allow. But they allowed her to come into it with her boyfriend, and she came in. Everybody from her court was like, they made a horseshoe around, and she came in. They went right around everybody. Then she went up and she sat down like on this throne that they did the shoes, then the tiara, then the roses. They did the dance of roses. I just, as the DJ, my whole role was to make sure I played every song. Once the MC gave me the thumbs up, then I know the next song is ready to come on. It's just, that's what I had to do.
All right. So while you was talking, because I use VIBO for my timeline management, and I found on VIBO I did find it's a Quince questionnaire from someone. So I made a copy. So let's take a look at it, and let's see if there's some things that should be added to it or subtracted. Do you have YouTube, or are you looking at another screen, Max?
Me?
I know you.
Yes, I have something available to look at a different screen.
Okay. and hopefully there won't be too much of a delay. So with this timeline, it starts, and they have questions next to each one.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like Quinceañeras also have a cocktail hour. So that would be
Yes,
the time
usually-
between when you had mentioned about the priests doing like a ceremony before the Quince. So that'd be that timeline in between that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually at a separate location. It's usually done at a church. The blessing of the quinceañera girl before the event. The cocktail hour is great to have. I always encourage the client to have a cocktail hour because it provides the time for people that are coming late to the party. It gives them that little window to come to the party on time when everything starts. I hate it when people come late during the traditional part of the quinceañera because it's like people got to shift their heads and see who's coming in late and whatnot. It creates a little drama. So I always try to encourage the client to have a cocktail
Yes.
hour to give time for latecomers to come in time. So
Okay. And then she has the court honor entrance. And it says optional. So what's the difference between the court honor entrance? I see Diego's is coming.
usually the court honor is just a general introduction of the quinceañera court to come in.
All right, because I see they has the
all
list
of the
of
girls and
yeah. I see they have the list of like the parents, grandparents. I mean godparents, family members, and all that.
yes,
Okay.
yes, that's exactly how it is. Usually the grandparents are honored first, followed by the parents, and then the godparents, and then the court follows after that. And then usually there's a queue for all the guests to rise up for the quinceañera girl to come in with her chamberlain or with her boyfriend or some kind of escort.
Okay. And so Diego, we're just getting on because it's like pulling IT, trying to get them about a timeline specifics. They keep saying it's so much detail, but they don't say. So I just figure I'll pull up a Bible app so we can somewhat get an idea
break it down?
of flow.
Yeah. Yeah. Max, right? Yeah, Max.
Yeah, Max, Diego, how you doing? How's everything?
Good. How are you, man?
Okay.
Cutie
So-
pie, what's up, man?
What's up, Mikey? How you doing? So I agree. Well, there's no agreeing. That's how it is. The way that he presented the grandparents first, and the parents, then the padrinos, or godfathers, whatever you want to call them.
Sí, sí, lo padrino.
Yeah, and then the court of honor. Usually right after them is like the flower girls, and then you get everybody up, and then the quinceañera walks in with her chambelán, which is either a cousin, a boyfriend, or a friend. And if they don't have anyone, then the dad does another circle and does that. So, but yeah, that's essentially what a presentation is for a quinceañera.
Okay.
It's very deep. Like I told him, I said, we consider you go through from point A through point M is all the formalities. From N through Z is the open dance floor. But it's so detailed. It's like with a wedding, you can make a mistake or whatever. With a quinceañera, I told him I was so scared. I was thinking about putting the depends on because if I had to go to the bathroom, I'm like, you can't go to the bathroom. You got to make sure you're ready to press play. If you have that sign on your cue point and boom, nail it, you know?
Yeah, I told him it's just like me working at the theater. It's like being the music director. You have your cue points. Everybody's got to be in their spot, and you got to be ready to boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So, Kings especially, I feel like it's easier if you have two people with like you and somebody else, like myself with my MC, because again we synced up. We already know our flow and stuff like that. So with cues and words, I already know what words he says that I need to play the next song because somebody else is coming. It's just so much easier with somebody else, and doing it yourself. It's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure too. And again, like Mikey said, at weddings you might be able to make a little mistake, but on a quinceañera, it's more straightforward, and you don't really have that chance. You have to be spot on because it's just a huge portion where when it comes to like the presentations, and let's not even talk about the ceremonial part of the like right after the presentations when they do the shoe change,
Sí,
the
la corona.
chain, the necklace, the teddy bear, because there are times where they want you to explain every single step, like the shoe change. What does that represent? You have to say it in Spanish and in English.
Yeah.
And then you have to go for the next stuff, which is like the necklace, the crown, the ring, like everything that that they want to do. You have to explain it in English and in Spanish to and make it so that it's easy to understand, because you know it's just a huge tradition in our culture,
Yeah.
and Americans don't know. A lot of people, it's their first time going to a quinceañera, and it's just amazing how much stuff goes on into a quince.
Well, it's so funny because like when I did my first one, like this one American guy goes, man, he said, she looks young for 16. I said, no, no, no. I said, Quinceañera's 15. No, 16. I said, no, yeah, it's a sweet 16. I said, no, no, no. Quinceañera's, she's 15.
Damn.
Really? I'm like, yeah,
Número
he had,
15, número 15.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had no idea. You know, I mean, again, he's American. You know, he's used to his daughter going to Sweet 16, so he thought this was just like a Sweet 16. But and what I didn't know is like compare between a Sweet 16 of an American and a quinceañera. Quinceañeras, not only do they invite their friend, but they invite the friend's family to come too. As with a Sweet 16, it's just basically you're inviting the friend. You're not inviting the family.
So that's another big thing. And Max one, you know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in a Hispanic culture is they invite you and your family. It's not just
Yes.
you. And
Yeah.
especially like with parents, if you invite the parents, you inviting the parents and everybody that's behind them.
Yeah.
And if you if you say you can only take two people, they'd rather not go. They'll stay home.
Yeah.
Because that's like disrespectful, not to invite the whole crowd. So let's say for a quinceañera, you're looking at 10 like 100 people. You're actually looking at like almost 200, because they come in with somebody else. They come with like a whole bunch of families, and you have people coming from different countries too.
Oh yeah.
And it's just sometimes I did one quince where they rented a school bus, and everybody like guests were like in the school bus. They arrived, and that place filled up quick,
Yeah.
like within minutes.
Oh yeah.
Everybody came out, like, and then like the quinceañera probably knows maybe 20% of the crowd. Everybody else
Yeah.
is just like guess that they got invited because of somebody else.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
And it's like it's like extended family are invited because it's like it's a special milestone to the daughter and the family, you
Yes.
know? And it's like the parents are honoring the daughter for, you know, it's like it's like an exchange between the daughter and the parents, in a way where the parents, we like, even to respect to the announcements, you're honoring the whole family line in the announcements as well, because the grandparents are introduced as well.
Yes.
And the parents, and then the godparents, and it's interesting how that works out. But but it's like the quinceañeras tend to be almost, with respect to Sweet 16s, they have that special type of vibe to it, because it's a milestone in the family, and it represents the family as well. So
I mean, the one I did, they had it in the same hall me and my wife had our wedding in, and we had 350 plus guests. This they had about, I want to say about 420 guests at this quinceañera. I mean, it was just jam.
oh, nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
and like I said, it wasn't just her friends. It was her friends plus her friend's family, and like the parents couldn't understand why they were invited. because
Yeah.
that's their tradition. So they came out of respect for the young lady, and it was nice to see them because they knew as much as I knew. You know, I knew to press play. That's how I knew.
So,
I like what Diego said
how many,
before.
on
Go
average,
ahead, sorry.
how many guests can end up showing up at a quinceañera?
I want to say the minimum, at least minimum 150.
That's on a good day.
Yeah, yeah, because you got your whole court, then you have the immediate family. Then if you invite, even if you invite 10, you got your court.
The family of the court too, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
just take that in count. Like depending on how many you have in your court, sometimes it's like 12 people. That's 12
Yes.
families that are going.
Yeah,
You know, that, let alone the flower girls, and because they're not considered part of the court. The court is like, you know, the kids that are gonna dance and all of that. The flower girls have their own, you know, their own sets, and their parents are invited. You know, everyone that got an invitation, it's most likely taking people with them. So you cannot, if you have 100 invitations, you do not count for 100 people. You're looking at 250, 300 people that go into an event.
Whoa.
yes.
And the Hispanics are already mentally prepared for that. They already know. I mean, they've been saving up for this special moment years of years, so they already know. One thing that would never be like one thing that would not finish is food. And they still, like, even if there's 300 people, they still at the end at the end of the night, they're like, hey, you want some to go? And they
Yeah.
still got food, food after like it's just crazy.
I
It's
also let them know
crazy.
that I come hungry too, so I always come hungry, especially with South American style food. I'm
That's
Puerto
another
Rican and
thing.
Cuban, so pero la comida mexicana and Colombian food, I'm like, can you give me 2 plates, please? So
Yeah. That's another thing. When you go to a Hispanic party, they gonna overfeed you.
Oh
yeah,
God,
That
yeah.
that's the way of saying thank you. We appreciate you're here. We love you, and all of that. They
Yeah.
feed you, like food is like in your eyes, like up to here. Like they just feed you and feed you and feed you, and then you just gotta eat. So you gotta go hungry. Like don't eat the whole day, because when you get there, you're gonna eat.
Yeah, it's honestly, I've done some very non-traditional, not non-traditional, but non-American weddings, quinceanera, but non-American weddings. I've done an African wedding, Indian weddings, 3 different Indian weddings. Each Indian wedding was different. The African wedding was totally different. And to see other cultures, how they share their love for each other and for their families, and in the quinceanera, I, compared to a
Amazing.
Latino wedding, the Latino wedding's more like a regular wedding. The quinceanera is like, man, it's just boom. It's like a volcano erupting. It's like everybody comes out for this young lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Another thing, and Max, I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed at least with like, so in quinces and like even Hispanic weddings, when it's a wedding, you have your buffet line, right? And then it's good for an hour and a half. But on a quinceañera, that buffet is open the whole time.
Oh
So
yeah,
you
Yeah.
can go out, and they always come up to the DJ and like, please tell everyone to go get seconds or thirds if they want to. They want you to eat.
Yeah,
You know, like they want you to eat.
that's a good observation. I'm kind of like remembering it now. The difference between weddings and quinceañeras. It's like the food is out there
Yeah.
available. It's just a cultural thing,
Mhm.
almost like Italians, for so to speak. You will get fed during a
Yeah.
celebration.
yeah,
The only thing with like Italian food, like pasta, right? You eat the pasta, you get full quick with just a little bit, but then an hour later you're hungry again. That's the
no,
problem
well,
with
the,
Italian food, or even Chinese food. Chinese food,
Yeah.
it fills you up for an
Yeah.
hour, and then you're
Yeah.
hungry again. But
the,
then,
the,
but if you eat yourself five tacos, you good for the rest of the night, like because it's so heavy. Like the
Claro.
food that we provide is so heavy that you are. I mean, you're gonna eat a lot. You're gonna eat a lot, but you're set. As opposed to like other type of foods, like you get full quick, but then you're hungry again,
Yeah,
constantly.
my wife's old boss, he was well, his family's right from Sicily. So when his daughter got married, she was the baby of the family. It
Mhm.
was a 7-course meal. You ate from the time you got there to the time you left. I mean, they had
Dang.
raw oysters, raw clams, they had squid, they had lobster, they had you name any type of seafood you want. Then you had your pastas were side dishes, but
Okay.
everything else, steak, lamb. I mean, it was like I couldn't eat no more. I'm like, how you know, and the band's playing because they didn't hire no DJ. They had a band. The band's playing, and he went up and told the band, "You take an hour break to sit down and eat." They sat down and ate. He said, "All right, I want you to play for an extra 2 hours." Gave them more money, but again, see, it's a non-traditional like a quinceañera. It's not a non-traditional to you, but to an American, it's not traditional. And when you see something like this, like a quinceañera, a true traditional Italian wedding where they're serving not just pasta, they're serving seafood, lamb, they're serving you name it, they're serving it. A 7-course
Mhm.
meal. And then you got dessert coming out. It's
Yeah.
cannolis, it's this. And I'm like, where am I gonna put this? Yeah, take home
Yeah.
bag, you know?
Yeah, and especially if you're in, like, let's say I'm from Peru, so if you're inviting a whole bunch of people, different, different ethnicities, different countries and stuff like that,
Yes.
the first thing that they're gonna do with like your dessert are 10 to 20 different desserts
Yeah.
in the dessert table, and they
Yes.
want you to go and try every single thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or our food. Like Peruvians are we're very, very proud of our food. So we have a whole bunch of food, and everybody like go eat, go eat, go eat, go eat. You know what I'm saying?
Hay
Like,
mucho comida picante, con
oh yeah,
picante también.
yeah,
I
okay,
think like
no,
was it like the green sauce? I think it was like there's like una salsa verde, like a
yeah, como el del pollo a la brasa.
yeah, claro que yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. So
ahí, o sea,
I
esa,
I like spicy food, but Peruvian food will punch you in your face. So
I'll
yeah,
tell you
well,
that the one I did that Indian wedding, and the mom did all the cooking, and the father came up and he seen me eating the ones. It wasn't spicy to me. He said, well, "You like spicy stuff?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Go try this." I said, "Okay." I ate it. Like I'm waiting, like eating chicken wings. You get that burn instantly. Nothing. But I'll tell you, when that Indian food hit my belly, wow, the heat went down to my toes, went up to my head. I started sweating. I'm like, oh my God, this is,
that's
I mean,
what that's why you're bold, man.
yeah,
And
yeah.
burn your head up. And burn your head up.
See,
All
that's
right.
what you
hey,
do
me too, me
at a
too.
wedding.
Oh, were you at the same party?
Yeah, I probably.
So let's get back to the timeline and
Oh yeah, go ahead.
okay.
I just got to step out real quick because I took a water pill today, and you know where I have to run to.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. So we just did the grand entrances, and then
Yes.
after the grand entrances, they have the crown, shoes, doll, necklaces, all the stuff that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A traditional, I guess you want to call it a traditional ceremonial piece of it. I don't know. Do you have another name for it, Max?
Um, for the necklace,
Yeah, like
or
the
it's like an
shoes.
heirloom. It's like an heirloom.
Okay.
It's like something that's usually the necklace is passed down from the grandmother, no?
Mhm.
Like a brooch or something.
Yeah.
But
But like in general, like the whole thing, like the whole
oh,
process.
it'll be like ceremonies. It'll be considered as ceremonies, las
Okay.
ceremonias de la corona and then
The
shoes
shoe change.
and then a shoe change and sometimes, like I said before, Diego said sometimes even for the English speakers, they're not familiar with what's going on. So sometimes my MC will explain in English, or even myself if I'm the MC as well, to the American guests on what's going on specifically with a specific ceremony. Usually
Mhm.
the parents want me not to explain in Spanish because it's like they know already what's going on for some quinceañeras. So I'll explain in English to some people, like, this is what's happening with the exchange of the shoes, with the tiara crowning, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And also depending on on how much money the family has, sometimes they have a surprise gift that it can be a car, a brand new car. So it all depends on what type of family you're working with.
Yeah.
It could definitely be. Go ahead.
For Turkish Sweet 16s, I have noticed that the uncles will be spraying money all over the floor. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's something for the girl to pick up and have as a gift for her. So then I saw the aunts picking up the money from the floor, and they were giving it to me. I told them, listen, are we organizing this money for the girl as a gift for her? It's like, no, this is the money for you because you're making us dance to the music to celebrate the girl.
Mm-hmm.
So all the money that the uncles were throwing on the floor, the aunts picked it up, organized the money, and gave it to me because I was in charge of the music.
Oh.
So I was like, oh,
Well,
this is for me? They're like, yeah, according to Turkish tradition, you get the money, not the girl, because you're the one that's in charge of the people to get them dancing all night. So, and I
oh
was like, all
wow.
right, I'll take it. I mean,
I'll tell you.
I almost feel like I didn't want to take it at all, but that's what they said. So, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
I'll tell you one thing. That's not gonna happen on a Hispanic one.
Nope, nope.
That's not gonna happen.
Nope.
But yeah, go ahead, man.
But
What
I
you
felt like
got next?
I felt like doing more Turkish weddings, Turkish Sweet 16s as a result of the money coming into me, So
Hey man, I feel you. I want to do one too now.
So
it was interesting.
so after they do the little, was it passing down of the family heirlooms? Then
Yes.
this person had the special dances with their parents,
Yes.
followed by it says waltz, but I'm thinking that's where they do the group dance or choreographer.
So, in my experience, usually is right after the ceremonial part,
Mhm.
it comes the waltz.
Okay.
Once they done the waltz, we transition to like the father-daughter dance, mother-daughter dance.
Mhm.
Then sometimes it's like the grandparents wanna have a dance with the quinceañera. You have that, and then sometimes they wanna have the uncles, all the uncles, to dance with the quinceañera. Sometimes even cousins, or like at the end of the time, at the end of the day, the mother's like, just invite anyone that wants to dance with the quinceañera at that specific time. Um, so I feel like it's to me it's too much, but if that's what they want, that's what they want. Like you can't really argue with them that that's what they want. So, but yeah, it's usually the dancing portion because they do have a surprise dance, but that's later on in the event. So,
Oh, yeah, they
but
got
yeah,
down
I don't know
here.
if
Okay.
Max got okay. I don't know if Max got any input on that.
Oh yeah, definitely surprise dance. Like I said before you came, Diego, that it depends on how long the event is. Sometimes I'll run into clients that have a quinceañera that's a 4-hour event. So sometimes you
Mhm.
got to take things out so they can have more dancing going on and celebrating. But when I have a client that chimes in with me that says, "Oh, this is going to be a 6-hour event as big as a wedding," then you're going to have all the traditions happening for the whole day, pretty much.
Correct.
Especially for the beginning part of the celebration. When it comes to the surprise dance, as Dwayne suggested, that usually happens after dinner time, and I like to have that act as a dance opener. So when the round of applause comes in and the kids are done doing their dance, then the next party song comes on and they start waving guests in to start celebrating on the dance floor. So
Hmm. Yeah,
Nice.
that's pretty much because usually when they do the surprise dance at the end of the dance, all the kids usually go and grab a parent or grab a person, like even your girlfriend. You grab your girlfriend, you bring it to the dance floor, and then everybody starts dancing.
yep,
So yeah,
yep.
that's on the surprise dance. It's usually a opener, but again, also it depends on how they want to do it because, like for example, I have a quince in 2 weeks, and she wants she wants to have dinner, but then right after dinner she wants to go and take pictures with everybody. Everybody like the mom wants the daughter to take pictures with every single table and stuff like that,
Mm,
but they have like in a specific corner where they have to go and take a picture. So obviously, like there can't be no downtime. So we're gonna just open the dance floor and just play like a little warm up set for like an hour or so, and then we're gonna have her get ready for her surprise dance, and right after that we'll open the dance floor for like good, and then probably like throw a La Hora Loca in there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because at that time you probably won't have that much time to party. You know, because there's so many things going on.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're not keeping track of the time, and even if it's a 5 hour event and the parents are demanding all the traditions to happen, it's like if guests are coming late, you have to forget about them because you have to start on time. And
Yeah.
and then God forbid if the kitchen's late, man, you're gonna be stuck with DJing for only 20 minutes. So it's like
Yeah.
you got the venue has to be on time with their stuff, and you also got to be on point with starting on time and making sure one thing is happening after another in a timely fashion, but doesn't look rushed at the same time. So
Another one that they have is the dollar dance.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that's another thing that they do, where I mean, you guys know what a dollar dance is.
Yeah. On Polish Day, we do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have that. It's a good way of like hooking up the quinceañera with some money. So
Is that doing open dance?
it's again, it depends. It could be before. It could be again. You have to stop. You have to stop whatever you're doing to do that specific part. It can't be during dance because everybody needs to be like spread out. The dance floor needs to be open, so everybody can because you have either like a little box where the money's gonna be. There's quinceañeras that you have to like do it on their clothes, and it all depends how you want to do it. Nowadays, because you don't wanna like touch you or whatever. They have a little box for money, so you just throw the money in there, go in, dance with the quinceañera, and then like couple seconds, and then the next person comes in, and it's like that back and forth, and but that's the fun part. That's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
The point of it is to have the least amount of time to dance with her. So let's say I go in, I put a $5 bill, go in, I grab her hands, I start like do 2 moves, and then Mikey comes in and puts the money and kicks me out. Because once you pay, you kick out the person that was there, and then it gets at times it can get like competitive, and people are like, oh hell no, he just kicked me out, and then you grab another 5 and throw it in there, or some people like throw hundreds in there. So it depends, it depends on how you want to, but you need to make a stop. Whatever you're doing, that dollar dance, it's important for them. So it can't be during the party.
So go ahead. I was going to say, so since we're kind of like basically almost constructing our little,
timeline.
timeline template.
Yeah.
So where would you put the money dance at?
It could be before opening dance. It could be in the middle, and it could be towards the end. The one I did it wasn't quite the middle, just about the middle. They did have her aunt sit down instead of like Diego said. They put the money in the box. The aunt had like a veil that people were throwing the money in. Like with the Polish bridal dance, we had our matron of honor sits down with the bride's veil, and they put the money in there, and they go out, like you said, they dance, and it's only a boom, you're out, boom, you're out. But then they form a circle around her. Then the groom has to fight to get in. Now, the Quinceañera I did, the last one to dance with the daughter was the dad. It gets something traditional to like almost a Polish one. It was not the first one I did. They did a dollar dance. They did that right before the dances started, and it was just all the guests danced. Once the guests were done dancing with her, that was it. We went to open dancing. But the second one was nope. They didn't form a tight circle around her like a Polish bridal dance, but they formed a circle around her, and the dad was the last one to dance with her.
And sometimes you got to be aware of the tension in the room, especially for people that want to party right away. The quinceañera is excellent in the Spanish culture, but when you got non-Spanish people attending, you're gonna feel like they're doing this to you, like, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next? It's like you want to get the party going almost immediately after dinner time. So it's like if you can, and if dinner is late in the event, you may want to fit everything at the beginning and then dinner time and then start partying. So it depends what's the ratio between people that know what a quinceañera is and then what people don't. So it's like you almost like you don't want to lose your audience, especially for the non-Spanish people.
Exactly.
So it's like
Exactly.
And
it goes,
that's what makes it difficult
yeah.
because like because in a quinceañera it's not just Hispanics going, it's a mixture of cultures, different
Yeah.
and Americans get bored real quick. And
Yeah.
so many things going on in a quinceañera. Hispanics are already used to it. We already know
Yeah.
how this goes, so it's not a big deal to us. We just wait until it's ready to party.
Well,
But they just want they go in not knowing what's going on, that not knowing what to expect. Some people appreciate it. Some people just like, okay, when the party gonna start. And yeah, you do get those people that are like this, like just looking at this. They start watching like YouTube on their phone or whatever.
Oh,
You get
I,
all this stuff.
don't get me
So
started on that, man.
yeah,
I mean, even the Filipino have quinceas too, and they have a dollar dance too.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's cool. Okay, I'm Polish and Slovak, and this area is basically Polish, Slovak, Irish, Lithuanians, and stuff. But everybody followed the Polish tradition, and when you went to a wedding, you really rarely heard top 40 music. They had polka bands, and they played Polish music for 7 hours, 6 hours. I mean, that's all it was. And you had the dollar dance, and you polka. Same thing like with a quinceanera, but now once you go to the open dance, you have a lot of American dancing in there too. So which is nice. But honestly, both quinceas that I did, I did the three, but the two of them, honestly, I didn't see one American sitting there going like this. They were all intrigued, and they were all like,
Awesome.
"Wow, this is great!" Like I said, the one guy,
that's awesome.
That's a good
That's awesome.
audience. Yeah, the good audience.
yeah,
That's a good audience. Yeah. But anyways, to hit on Dwayne's question, you can put it like Max said. It really depends on like the time frame like that you have, and but yeah, you can throw it in so maybe right after the traditional dances and stuff like that, just throw the dollar dance.
All right.
now, like I
So
said, the
again, at
ones
the
I
end of the
did,
day, is the what the parents want.
Okay.
They will tell you exactly. Yeah, you can say here or here, and they'll be like, well, okay, I'd rather do it here than here. Like you can give them options based on like the timeline that you guys are looking at. But again, it all depends on like what they want. They need to understand too. Like
Yeah.
there's a time frame.
If
Okay.
it's a buffet where las tias are bringing all the food in, which is great, by the way. I'm taking 3 plates home, by the way. But if it's buffet and the family's cooking, then it's almost like dinner can be pushed further down the timeline to get a lot of the traditions out of the way, and then get the dancing started. If you're
Hmm.
working with a venue where they're serving the food and they have a strict timeline to serve the hot dishes and the first courses and second courses and whatnot, it's
Hmm.
like you almost have to divide the important stuff and then the second important stuff after dinner time, so that that's almost like gonna break up the dance floor. It's like it's a great idea to, let's say, do all the great important stuff for photography before dinner time, and then dinner time happens, and then open up the dance floor. And then when it comes to close to saying happy birthday to the girl and cutting the cake, then you can do like the second important stuff. Let's say like, for example, the rose dance maybe. So it's like you're trying to open up the dance floor for the guests to enjoy themselves and make it worth their while to dance and celebrate, and then take a break in the dance floor before cake time to do second important stuff like for example the rose dance, dollar dance, or even dances with the parents. Not excuse me, dances with the grandparents, or something with the father figures. So like
Right.
it's like you always want to shift the timeline depending on what venue you're going to be at. So
All right. So let me add the cake thing. So I'll put the dollar
yeah,
dance. I mean the dollar dance before dinner.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's because that's right after the special dances. And then would you do the cake cutting?
Well, right before dinner time. Usually, sometimes the American tradition of the candle ceremony is incorporated. If not, you just go straight to singing happy birthday. But even a thank you speech from the quinceañera can be said to the guests, or maybe and the parents can say something as well. and then sing happy birthday to the girl. And depending on what culture it is, they do like an English version and a Spanish version. Make sure you have like tracks queued up to play a song after happy birthday is being sung. So it almost acts like background music. So when you take pictures with the cake with the family and then cutting in the cake and stuff like that, and then after that you're going straight back to dancing again. So depending on what you have left over in the timeline.
So that'd be
To
like
me,
that'd be doing like open dance. They dance a little bit and then cake and then go back to
Yes.
dancing. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so in my case, it'll be a little different
Mhm.
because I mean, I don't know, but like Hispanics see like cutting cake, it's time to go. So we usually, when like the quinces I do, we do it at almost at the end. So like let's say an hour before, we connect the cake cutting with the surprise dance. That way nobody leaves. Like right after the cake, we announce,
Yeah.
okay, now we're getting ready for the surprise dance because everybody goes over there to see that, also that portion, the surprise dance. That's like the coolest part of like the whole thing. Everything else is like so for the like the adults, but the surprise dance is for everybody. Like all kids want, like they want to watch it, they want to see what they do, what songs they play. So in my experience, the quinces that I do, I put the cake and the surprise dance together, and I usually do it. Let's say if I have like, let's say there's 3 hours left. The first hour is just a dance, plain dancing. Then we do a stop for the cake and the surprise dance, and then that's when like the party like takes off. Right after the surprise dance, we go into like the hora loca, and like everything's like fast paced and everything, because that you want to
Mhm.
end it up in a high note. So that's how
Yeah.
that's how I do it, and that's how we do it. Well, that's how I do it. I don't know how else,
Okay.
but that's how I do it.
Yeah, it makes
So
it makes
switching
perfect
things
sense. Yeah.
around real quick. So you have dinner, and then the dancing, and then do you do the surprise dance before the cake cutting or after?
You can do it either way. I usually do the cake first, and then the surprise dance. Because again, keep in mind that in our culture, at least in the South American culture, cutting the cake means the party's over.
yeah,
That's the last thing you do,
yeah.
cut cake. So I mean, yeah, and I mean, I don't know how it's in where you say you're Puerto Rican?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's also maybe the same. No,
Yeah, I see that it's almost
somewhat.
the same. It depends um how many party goers are there,
Hmm.
especially with the kids. Usually the kids can be jumping up and down all night, and the parents are just sitting there just talking with other people, catching up with other relatives and stuff like that. So, uh,
Yeah.
in my experience, usually the parents will mark the pictures with the cake and cutting of the cake during dessert time. And then the dance floor dies a little bit because you got people mingling and enjoying dessert and then people on the dance floor. And then once that is done, usually the like sometimes the court surprise dance is done afterwards because it gives a chance for the quinceañera girl to do a dress change for the choreography. And
Yeah.
then there's like a rebuilding of the dance floor right afterwards. So some people don't usually leave, in my experience, from doing quinceañeras in New Jersey, New York area. But also that brings a new light to my organization because now that you mention it, I don't want the party to end after cake cutting. So
Yeah. Again, it's just how different ways of
yeah,
seeing it. There's no right or wrong. It all depends on them how they want to do it.
yeah,
We as DJs can only offer options, and they choose what they want to do based on like the options that we give them, because at the end of the day, we are the ones that know how this works, and
mm,
we have different experiences. So
Now, the
uh,
thing is, like, with weddings, we, the DJs, are basically dictating, or not dictating, but saying, okay, this is the way we do it. You know, you could do your first dances when you first come in, or you could do them after dinner. With a quinceanera, it's usually the parents and the MC that are dictating everything to the DJ. The DJ is the last in line. You know, it's the
oh,
parents, the choreographer, or the parents, um, the MC and choreographer too, because they have a big role in this. And the DJ, yes, he has a big role because he or she has to play the music, but everything is basically the parents tell the MC, and the MC tells us what to do. As opposed to a wedding, we're telling the bride and groom, this is what we do. Now you can go talk to another DJ, he may change it up just a little bit. But the Latino cultures, I mean, one might be a Mexican, they're doing it this way. One may be Puerto Rican, they're doing it this way. One may be Cuban, they're doing it this way. One may be Filipino, they're doing it a different way. So I mean, each quinceañera is done differently. Every wedding is done differently too, but it's more or less the DJ's dictating how you can do it, and the bride and groom give you the last okay of what they want to do. What the quince, it's the parents that give you. They don't give you the okay. They tell you this is what we're doing, and so you gotta listen to them because they're your boss for the day. You know.
All right.
Yeah, and when you said, sorry, just real quick, when you bring in weddings into that, like the cake cutting weddings, yeah, that you can do it early in the beginning, at the beginning of the party. That's common now. You know, like you want to get all the formalities out, and then the rest of the time it's just party.
It's a party.
But again, on a quince you can't really do that because there's more things going on. There's stoppage all the time. So that's the only bad thing about the quinces. So much stoppage periodically throughout the event. And again, like Max said, it huge role. It's the time that you have. Because if you don't have a lot of time, if you book a 4-hour gig, you have to cut a lot of the stuff out, or you have to crunch everything up at the beginning, like your father-daughter dance, mother-daughter dance, or uncles, whatever. Maybe cut that off and then cut the dollar dance out, and then just do the surprise dance right after those dances, or or dinner right after dinner, the surprise dance, because now she got time to go and change, or do cake and then the surprise dance. So it's moving pieces as opposed to a wedding where it's like everything is already like set, because we're trying to get all the formalities out at the beginning. The rest of the time is all party, you know. So
now,
it's a little difficult.
Even with the Indian weddings I did, and the Indian parties I did, the last thing was cake cutting. That was once the cake was cut, the party was over. You know, I mean, they did all their dancing and everything prior. Then they sat down, ate, cake cutting. It was actually opposite of what we do for a wedding. Usually you come in, you have cocktail hour, you eat, you dance, cocktail hour, eat, then you go dance. Theirs was cocktail hour. It was open bar, dance, sit down. You still have open bar. You're eating, cake cutting, and you're going. You know, it's like, this is backwards, you know, like, but that was that Indian tradition of how they do it, you know?
Yeah. So, so all of this is like, so as a quince, if you're going to DJ a quince, the most heaviest work is behind the scenes. Like, I feel like we talk more with the parents and like quinceañera for that type of event than for a wedding. For a wedding, you probably talk to the couples like 2 times, maybe 3 times max. But with a quinceañera, there's so many things that you have to like talk to them about. You have like meetings after meetings after meetings with them, trying to figure out how everything's gonna go. Especially if you don't have a coordinator, which in quinces you don't really. I've never worked with the coordinator for a quince. I've always worked, coordinator for a wedding, yes. But for quinces, I haven't worked with a coordinator. So I don't think that's like something common. I don't know if Max, if you had the chance to work with the coordinator for a quinceañera. I've never had.
But
so
I thought like Mike, and earlier before you came on, they said the coordinator part would be more so from the MC. Because it's like, I thought at MC, when you said MC, just be like a regular, you just talk to the crowd. But actually it seemed like the MC was the one that's the in-between person between the parents and the DJ, and he'll do the order.
Well, yes and no. The MC goes based on what we, the DJs, build. We build the timeline with the clients, and the MC gets what they're gonna what they're gonna announce, and the names and all of that stuff. So that's how I do it.
Okay.
I
See now,
work the time. I work the timeline, the whole timeline. The MC I just send the MC
The
my
script.
MC the script of what's
Yeah.
going on throughout the day, and so he already knows, and they already have their flow, so
Yeah.
they can really adjust on like what goes where. It's gonna be the same. It's just in a different time, but
see now,
it's still the
the
same.
the
You are handling the heavy load is on us, the DJs
the,
for
the
Quinceañeras.
last the last Kenzie I did, it was the parents. They dealt with the MC, and then the MC. They did meet with me. We sat down. They gave me a whole list of what's going to go on, and in order the songs that are going to be played. And at this point, this point, this point. But the parents did tell me that the not coordinator, the MC will cue you up. He will keep you in perfect harmony with the wedding coordinator, the coordinator of the Kensei, which was the grandfather. So I mean, it was like parents. I have the music already, but the MC and the wedding coordinator, the coordinator, which was the grandfather, he those two worked so close together, and then the MC he would give me a thumbs up to play that song. So okay, I knew we were on part three. Here's part three. Here's the song we have to play for part three. As soon as I had to play it, he'd go thumbs up, boom, because he made his announcements in Spanish and in English, and then thumbs up, boom, I play it. All right, started off really low while he's doing his talking, and then thumbs up to jack up the music.
Mm.
Yeah, again, it all depends on how you work or who you work with.
Yeah.
I've gotten sometimes like before I have my own MC, uh, I will build the whole thing, the whole timeline, and then the MC will show up the day off and like, okay, can I have the timeline
Yeah.
and like the name of the people that I have to announce. So and I'll just give it to them like, okay, fine. But now I have my own MC. I still do the heavy load. I just email it to him, but we already have a workflow, so we already know
Yeah.
how to do the whole thing. Working with another MC, yes, the heavy load again. The heavy load is on us, the DJs, but the day off, the MC is the one that controls the whole thing.
Yeah.
You just gotta know when you and that person need to know when you're gonna go and like play the next song, whatever the cues, I guess, the cues that.
It was funny because this MC told me, he said, I can't stand Spanish music. Can you please throw some AC/DC on? I'm like, can't do it yet, man.
And also the MC will handle certain types of, let's say, mishaps or delays, or like, let's say somebody from the Quinceañera court is missing. So you got to push the surprise dance or a particular dance somewhere else in the timeline, and kind of like adapt to changes the day
Mhm.
of even. So sometimes those things happen too. So
That's
Yes.
a great MC. A lot
yes.
of people just grab the mic, they call themselves an MC. That's not an MC. You're just an announcer.
Oh yeah, yeah, the MC
An
that I work,
MC
yeah.
an MC knows how to control the time of
Hmm.
everything. And when there's something's missing, something's messed up, something is delayed, they have already a workflow for that too. They're thinking ahead as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's an MC. That's why I say all the time, and you probably have heard on my podcast, an MC, it's a completely different person. I because I know there's a lot of DJs say, oh yeah, I can MC and I can do that. I can DJ. I think like MCing and then announcing are two different things. You should have an MC is like a person trained on like or really good at MCing because they know exactly what to do when things like Max just mentioned happens. A DJ, you have to worry about your controller. If your music is not working, you can't be talking and trying to figure out what happened to your controller.
Yeah,
Like,
bro,
that's
yeah.
when the MC hops on and starts talking, gives a speech, or like things that will
Yeah.
save you.
And
Yeah.
and also a bilingual MC will know his geography as well. So my MC is from Peru, so it's like
Okay.
he knows South America. He does like a lot of the pageants in South America, and he attends a lot of the soccer games down there as well. And him and I
Hmm.
are big MLS fans as well. Red Bull, going to go Red Bulls in New York City. But anyway, he knows how to speak to the Colombian crowd and the Peruvian crowd and the Mexican crowd. So he knows how to do like a lot of call and answers for different cities and different countries and stuff like that, which is awesome because it helps me a lot because I know a lot of the music, but he knows a lot of the sayings and colloquialisms and like
Yeah. There's
like
slang. The way they would, yeah, slang. The way
yeah,
you
like
talk. Yeah.
the language of the el barrio, like
Mhm.
from the towns and stuff like that, which is awesome, and it helps me a lot because I pick up from some things too myself, especially from South America, being that I'm from the Caribbean, Puerto
Yeah.
Rican area, so it's awesome.
All right, so let's go back. I think we got our timeline together because the only last two sections that was on this template
Yeah,
was the Order Loca, the crazy hour.
Hora loca.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was
Order
after the
Loca,
surprise dance, and then the
Yeah.
last song of the night. And then that was it.
Mhm.
and then
So
you start the party and you have about 10 minutes of DJing. So
Pretty much.
we're just kidding around. At least 45 minutes of real dancing. So
so going back to
Yeah.
dancing, going back to before I forget. Sorry to cut you off.
yeah,
That's okay.
We had talked about mixing and how for Spanish events, if the song is 12 minutes long or extremely long, that the song builds and it's not a good practice to go in and mix out of a song early. So is that true for all the songs or?
Well, before Diego joined us, just to fill in Diego on the particular way, what Dwayne was saying, I was talking about a Haitian Italian event, a wedding that I did last week, and they had some songs on their playlist, which was really long celebratory songs that was
Okay.
done like a compa style song or a Haitian song, and some of them were really long songs, so it's like you shouldn't really cut them in half or mix into it because they have a particular meaning to it for that particular culture. So when it comes to Spanish music, it's not really that long. Maybe some cumbias and some, South American
Sa-
songs that are specific to cultures may be
Salsas
long. Yeah, salsas
could
are
be
kind of
long.
long too. But salsas are with me. I have a bone to pick with some DJs concerning salsa because you don't want to cut off the song before the cowbell comes in. The cowbells kind of
I
like signifies the party part of the song, if you know what I mean. So yeah,
so that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I mix I I quick mix too, but I mix out of every genre but salsa. I love salsa, and that is one genre that I can't mix out of it, but you shouldn't because there is specific steps in a
yeah,
specific flow that the danza is danced, that if you change the beat, it messes up the flow and they have to stop and then recatch themselves, as opposed to like
oh yeah,
bachata, merengue. No, because bachata is like two to the right, two to the left. It's very very
yeah,
simple. It's very simple. You just gotta move your hips.
yeah.
Merengue is the same movements, up and down. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
spins and whatever. Salsa, it's as known in Puerto Rico as el baile de salón.
Mm,
It's like a waltz, but faster, a
yeah,
little fast pace. But
Mhm.
it's very structured in steps, so you have to be very careful um how you're gonna mix out of salsa. It's really difficult if you're using like original songs. There has ups and downs. You have the cowbells. You have like the guitar. You have the weedle. You have the triangle. There's so many instruments going on. BPMs go up and down on an original song. It's really hard
yep.
to come out of one and bring another one in. So sometimes there are songs that you can use an edit version of it, like computerized version, to make it easier for you to like mix in and out. But it's not norm. You want to
It
keep it
depends,
original.
yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
keep it original because that's when you can hear a difference between the warmth of the instruments playing in a traditional salsa song, like let's say una salsa de Gran Combo or Grupo Nietzsche. It's
Grand
like
combo, bro.
you can hear the music being played on the instruments themselves. When you have the edits happening, you usually have an edit occur near the end of the cowbell arrangement, and then you'll hear it, let's say, fade into a digital
Kind of like
procession
a loop.
of like a loop,
Yeah.
but it sounds digital versus the warmth of the original recording. So
Correct.
it
Yeah.
depends, but sometimes there's a lot of cut and runs in salsa. Like you can almost, let's say, connect two songs together by simply, like, you hear a timbale roll happening in one song on the one count, and
Yeah.
you can enter it. You can end one song on that last bar, and then boom, and then have the next song happen immediately right after it. It
Yeah.
depends. It depends on the salsa you're listening to. So
So and with that said, for you, Max, or for me, that's more like understandable and much easier. But
yeah,
for American DJs, the edit version will work for them because
yeah.
like, and maybe Dwayne because he's a music teacher, maybe he can grasp on it faster
Yeah.
than other DJs.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Uh,
cool, cool. All right.
yeah,
Yeah, because that's why I was telling
so-
him. That's how I did that. You remember that the thing that you asked me, why did I pick those songs? I said because the client had wanted me to pick those specific songs, and that's where I ran into. I tried to blend those songs, but even if I had them on beat, because you had a syncopated rhythm here and a syncopated rhythm there, I had to be very fluent and intentional with cueing, like EQing and stemming out certain drum sounds so they don't clash. Because once you have like off beats on top of off beats, it just sounds real messy.
I'll tell you one thing, the one song that's really like difficult to mix in and out with, Pedro Navaja. You had it on the thing.
Man.
Oh my God.
Pedro Navaja para. Yeah, that's so.
But that song has ups and downs. It's a whole story. Like the song is beautiful. Like if you listen to the song, it's so beautiful. But it has ups and downs. It stops and then it goes again. Like it's one of those songs that are very complicated, but you don't want to mix out of it either. So you just play it all.
You have to play the whole story. You got to play the whole story.
Yeah, you don't want to cut them off from it,
Like Ruben Blades, it's like you can almost mix out of that song when he has like the nice jazz instrumentation happening near the end of the song. You have the piano, and then boom, get out of the song. So it's like he'll repeat the chorus at the end of the song, but it's like for people that really love that song, like a true salsero, you gotta play it from the beginning and no interruption. So
yeah.
You'll get beaten up after the event. So just to let you know. So
So like I said again, we can come to a accordance that salsa it's one of those that you don't want to mix out of often, or rarely want to mix that in and out of it.
And on the last podcast, I mentioned also don't download re-drums. Like Vivir Mi Vida by Mark Anthony. And then when I heard the re-drum version played at this one wedding I attended with my wife, you hear like the dum 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 dum. I'm like, no, that's not even a clave beat. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a club beat laid over the actual salsa song itself. And my wife looked at me like, what the hell is this garbage? And I'm like, don't bother dancing, just let it play through and he'll go into something else. So but avoid
what I really like so for some songs is like per capella. So it's like kind of like the cowbell, like that sound is so it's so nice, man. It's so soothing in your ears.
Yeah. And that's a nice part of the song to keep track of because it's always on a one, but one, two. You can count it more physically. Yeah, because even what Dwayne said before, that you even got jazz elements incorporated also. Like in salsa songs.
Salsa is a mixture of like 3 or 4 different genres of music, like 5 I think. Like it's a mixture of whole stuff. So but yeah, like to close this, the salsa for like us that we DJ often and we already know. Yeah, but for an American DJ, it could be very troublesome to.
Yeah, very intimidating too, probably.
With. Yeah, very intimidating because even though you have it on the same BPM, and you have like to use beat match, once you start listening to both songs together, they don't go well.
It'll fall apart in 4 beats. Guarantee you that.
And you being too nice. 4 beats is too nice. Sometimes it's 2 and it's out. Sometimes 2 and you're like, oh damn. Yeah,
They,
it's difficult.
they again, like I said, I told Wayne the best thing for him to do is if he wants to start doing quinceañeras, or if he gets asked to do one, please look for a DJ in his area that may be doing one, and
Hmm.
ask him, say, hey, I'll be your roadie for tonight. Can I bring my 360 camera with me so I can record it? I won't post it nowhere, but I'll have it for reference for myself. Because, I mean, I was dummy going into it. The first one I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. Which was great, and I did it. And oh, here comes our mascot, and everything turned out perfect. Again, it was a female MC, and she basically walked me right through the whole thing. Again, I had the music, but she gave me the cue point when I had to play that song. I was like, okay, and then like it was, how do you say, like there were so many different lists of songs, like so many songs that were for different things throughout the course of the night. And she told me when they hit it, like a thumbs up, boom, start playing it. So I was grateful for that, thank God. But I was blind going into it. I've never done one before, and even the second one, the third one was more, even though the girl was 15, but it was more like an American Sweet 16. She did a couple of the traditional things, but the rest of it was just Americanized,
Hmm. No,
like Taco Bell.
another thing that's on the plus side for American DJs is that as long as, let's say, if it's like maybe like Salvadorian, Guatemala, like something in the Central American, they don't really like salsa like Puerto Ricans and South Americans like Colombian Peruvians do. So you won't find yourself playing that much salsa. That's very minimal. They don't really
Hmm.
listen to like that dancing salsa. For dinner, you can play romantic salsa because that they do listen to that.
Yeah.
But
Yes, yes. Tito
the
Rojas.
dancing salsa, it's like Cuba, Puerto Rico, Peru, Colombia. Those are like the heavy salsa dancers. So like if you wanna get yourself, you wanna get your feet wet doing into quinces, tr- maybe go for one of those Central American ones where the merengue, cumbia, reggaeton, dembow, all of that. Like reggaeton and dembow, they're stupid. They're easy to mix in and mix out. They're so stupid, like stupid. But bachata is good. You just gotta know because sometimes a song you just gotta know where to mix in and mix out or bachata because sometimes it's like the second part of the song is like really people like yell it and they're really feeling it.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's the first part of the song, so it's just knowing the music,
lyrics.
understanding where to in the lyrics, yes, knowing when to mix in and mix out. But I feel like a Central American, not Caribbean, just Central American specifically, it's a good way to get your feet wet. And then
Hmm.
once you start listening to more like the salsa portion of it, like if you get really into salsa, then you can probably want to shoot your or roadie someone that is doing an event like that, so you can grasp the the concept of like how to
Yeah.
DJ and how to play salsa music because it's difficult.
Mhm.
Not hard, not difficult. It's hard
Mhm.
for people that don't listen to it often. Like I'm listening to salsa all the time. Like you said, you mentioned a Gran Combo. That's like my favorite group, man. Like
Yeah,
and
so
and then I watched the episode last week that you guys were talking about. You guys mentioned La Fania All Star, bro. The you play the Fania All Star to a Peruvian or a Puerto Rican, bro, you hit us in the heart, man. Like
yeah, right.
when Hector Lavoe starts singing that, it's something else. And Tito Puente, right? El de Timbal,
Yeah, see
right?
some. Yep.
Yeah, man, the way that he plays that, the way that he just plays that. There's a song. Go ahead, you
Timbalero,
listen to it,
original.
and I think you might know it. Timbalero. It's called Timbalero from El Gran Combo.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
listen to that song, close your eyes, and it's gonna take you through like a passage, bro. It's amazing. And once the timbal solo comes in and he goes, it's amazing. Like check that song out. You will love
A
salsa
classic
after that.
show off song to show off your dance moves too if you dance. So
Exactly. Yeah. Timbalero, El Gran Combo.
no, yeah,
Check it out.
definitely, definitely. Héctor Lavoe tiene una canción de timbalero también. He has a, I forgot the name of the song. Oh gosh, why am I going blank? But Héctor Lavoe got another one too,
He,
the
yeah.
timbalero
Well,
style song.
Hector Lavoe is a great storyteller.
Yes.
Whew.
Yep.
Hector Lavoe is. He's a dad. He's a dad of salsa.
Yeah.
He's so good. He was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so let's just stop it there because it's like there's so much stuff that we got to do a deep dive on. But
I just got excited.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read the comments, all in the chat because then we don't start getting long-winded. But I would like to acknowledge the people that snuck in. Buddies had came in the second hour. DJ Will was in the chat. DJ James
Tech.
King was in the chat.
DJ J Tech.
Yeah, I thought I saw. I'm trying to. Okay, DJ J Tech. I thought I saw him, but I can't. I lost this. If I missed you, sorry. But I'm glad that you was able to come. But again, this is not to tell you everything that you need to know about DJing a Spanish event or the music. It's just an introduction. So that's why I was pressing you all earlier to give details. I know you can't give all the details, but give us the basics. So therefore, someone that is somehow found themselves trying to do a Spanish event doesn't have to go in totally blind. At least we can give them something to look forward to. Remember, I'll do the same thing with the timeline. I just have to figure out how to get my VIBO template to be a part of a real working template, and I can download a template. And again, that template timeline for Quinceañera, remember, it's just a guideline or a template.
It's just a guide.
Right. Yeah. Just so you're not going in there blindly, or if you do like Mike says, go see one in real life, you can at least have an idea of what the things you should look forward to. So I'll put that up, and that'll be there for next week. And then those that missed the show, the first hour, I had made a blog of, and it basically broke down everything we talked about last week. But the two main takeaways, and it kind of like hit on some of the information that DJ Pretty Boy had said just a few minutes ago. I broke down 18 genres for the Spanish music, and then I gave the different parts of like what part of the country enjoys that kind of music, the vibe, the instrumentation, and what events you might play that at. And then also I have some songs you can look up that will go good with those songs. But the main part also is the ebook. The ebook is more so like a DJ shortcut. It breaks down the BPMs. It also gives you tips on how to couple and mix the different genres together, what will work nice. And then you can also hear the examples of the songs. So make sure you check those out to give you some guidelines so you don't have to go in totally blind. But still, you got to make sure you respect the culture because there's a lot that you have to take in consideration before doing a Spanish event. It's almost like people that says they can DJ hip hop or rap, and then they start talking about DJ or rap or playing stuff, and they only play the mainstream stuff. They don't know all the other stuff. So respect.
Don't know the 80s. They don't know the 90s hip hop. Like
We had
also you can call it. Quinceañeras are very long. We all lazy, so we call them quinces. So just call it quinces. It's faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
we had DJ Big Services in, DJ the Moose Channel 1.
Okay.
DJ Troll was here. I mean, we had a bunch of people here today. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And Max, thank you.
Yep.
Pretty
Yes,
boy,
sir.
thank you,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I mean, Dwayne, we have to have him back on the show because there's so much more to learn
Yeah.
about Kenzie's. I mean, it's
Well, we still got to cover South American music, so
Yeah,
we did
I mean,
we did Caribbean and
it is. That and Filipino too. I mean, there's so much to it. Like I said, Dwayne, to sit down here and to analyze a Quince, you got to know what country you're dealing with.
Yes.
You got to
That's
know,
huge.
okay,
That's huge.
yeah. It's not just like doing a wedding. Okay, we're doing a Polish wedding. Yeah, okay, we play a couple polkas, play some American music, you're done. We're doing an Italian wedding, play some Italian music, play some American music, you're done. A Quince is totally, totally, totally different. It's I want to say a monster in its own, because each country, a good friend of mine was from Cuba. Back in the early days, he came right from Cuba, and he spoke Spanish, but he said his Spanish was different than the Spanish from Mexico, different from the Spanish from this other country. He said, I could understand it, but I really, sometimes the words are a little bit different, and the words may not have the same meaning. So he says, I get goofed up, and he was 17, 18 years old at that time.
It depends. Some words translate into a curse word sometimes too. So
yeah, that's what it was, and it's Quinces are the first thing you do. You sit down with the family, you find out what country they're from, what country they're inviting people from. Is it just going to be just
that's
a straight,
too. Yeah.
a straight up Mexican one? Or is it going to be a straight up Peruvian one? Is it going to be Central America? Is it going to be Puerto Rican? Is it going to be Cuban? I mean, or is it going to be Haitian? I mean, you got so much. It's such a wide spectrum that you don't realize what it is. If somebody calls you up, okay, can you do a Quince? Yeah, no problem. And then all of a sudden you're the DJ and you're standing there, what music do you want?
Yeah, right.
They start telling you what Peruvian. You're like, what the heck is Peruvian music? And you start Google stuff, Googling or going on
Grupo
chat.
Cinco.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like the mainstream. The mainstream.
The best, great music too.
Yeah, but it's just like it's just like any country, they all have their own, like, Mikie, you mentioned Cuba. You hear Cuba, the first thing that pops in your head, or the first person that pops in your head is Celia Cruz. That's the first person that pops in your head. And
when I hear Cuba, pops in my head, a 55 or 57 Chevy. They all have drive them down there. I love them.
All that about music related.
I know.
But yeah, so yeah, like
Celia Cruz,
each country has its references. If you say Puerto Rico, El Gran Combo was one, like that, a group, as a group. But like if you want to talk just a person, Hector Lavoe is the first one that pops up for salsa, like big. You talk anyone, Hector Lavoe is like one, like the biggest one that you can mention. También tienen this is other guy, I forgot his name. Tito Rojas. Yeah, but he's more romantic salsa, right?
Yeah,
his style is more
romantic. He has a couple jams too.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The romantic salsa is really good. I'm just very like an upbeat person, so like I like salsa, like the street salsa. The romantic salsa I'll listen to every now and then, not so much. But again, Central Americans listen to romantic salsa a lot, like heavily romantic salsa. So
what's funny with
it all depends where they're from. Like, I saw like last time you talked about like also Mexico, like if you ask them like, okay, so you guys are Mexican, yes. What type of Mexico? And then from that specific side of Mexico, you have to find out the subgenres that they dance to, because the corridos tumbados, the people that dance like corridos tumbados might not dance like Duranguense and like Huapangos, Zapateado. Like there's so many subgenres in like corridos bélicos, corridos tumbados, plain corridos, norteñas, like so much music within Mexico only that you have to like know, depending on what part of Mexico they are from.
My cousins are half Mexican, and the one has red hair. I mean, everybody goes, "You're Mexican?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm Mexican." She's half Mexican. I mean, Mexico, like you said, Mexico is something like India. It's a very diverse country. every section of India has a different form of music. Same thing with Mexico. Every section of Mexico has a different form of music, different way of, America is so, on the East Coast, you're listening to dance music. On the West Coast, you're listening to dance music. It's basically the same. You're listening to country music on the East Coast and West Coast also. So it's like the music carries from coast to coast. When you start doing these culture weddings, culture quinceañeras or birthday parties, whatever, everything is different. You have to really, really have to have the knowledge of that country that you're doing or that party that you're doing, because if not, you're going to screw up somebody's big day on them royally. Like I said, I thank God that I worked with two wonderful MCs that really guided me right along the way.
All right, so let's wrap this up before it be 12 o'clock, and then we can't do our after hours. But we definitely going to pick this up. I just wanted to like split it up because we already had talked about making it monthly or something, where we all get together and start rotating people out. And maybe we can do a collab, so we don't have to do. Yeah. So
we can do one.
No, Shay's Polish, isn't he?
Huh?
Shay's Polish, isn't he?
No.
I thought he was. I'm just teasing, man.
I will hope so. But yeah, yeah, man. Just thank you for thinking of me for this topic. Like,
because I heard you. Yeah, I heard you talk. Because I was like, Diego had been great for this because he could fill in the blanks, and I can just put an ideal out there, and you'll take it. You'll understand the assignment. You'll take the ball and you'll run with it. Because it's like I can only do so much because I don't know too much about it.
And the thing that I like with, like Max here, or what's the other guy's name?
DJ Will.
Last week. Yeah, him. So when I speak out of my experience and what I've done in the events here. Max probably done a couple things different, and we mentioned like done things different, but again, it all comes to the same concept, different things, but with the same end result.
Yeah.
So and that's the great part about this. It's like so different heads think differently. They have seen so many things. We have seen so many different ways of doing it. There is no right or wrong. It's just whatever is needed for that specific event and the time frame that you have. And he brought again, Max said it perfectly. Dinner, when you do it with the venue, it's at a specific time, so everything is around that time. Like everything revolves around that time. So with that, knowing once you know when dinner is, you have to start doing the times for everything else.
Oh,
So
I'll tell
it's
you,
huge.
both things I worked with pretty boy. They worked right with the parents of the young lady, and everything was cooked fresh right then. Like after all the formalities, like just towards the end of the formalities, they started cooking whatever they were cooking. Then
So that was it forever.
we had another formality, and they cooked something else. It was just like boom, 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 boom. Everything fell right into place. And again, some venues are okay. Here we're serving dinner at this time. That's it. Boom, end of story. So.
They
carry
even
the show
took,
to the
they
next
even
show.
for dinner sometimes for dinner. I don't know if Max you've seen this over there, but they do like taco stands, like literally they cook to order, and that just takes forever. Like your dinner time, it's longer than expected, which at the end of the day, like clients don't really take account of that, but they realize that people still like standing waiting in line to be like their food to be cooked. And then they're coming out to you like, oh, what do we have next? What do we have next? Oh, we have this, and this next. And like, okay, well, can we cut this because we're not gonna have time because everybody's still eating. So there's so many factors to take in consideration. There's so many. I feel like, and you Max, tell me if you do it differently. But I feel like for quinces, I spend more time with the clients than with the wedding. I feel like the wedding is more straightforward. The quinces is just like way more.
Oh yes, especially you have the first thing you have to find out is how long is the event? How long did you book the event at the venue? And hopefully they will say at least 6 hours,
Yeah.
so they can make this one-time milestone event happen the right way, because it's only going to happen once, so you have to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
it happen the right way,
Well,
right there.
don't want to break subjects like that, but I did a wedding and they invited.
Keep it,
well, not
keep it
invited,
short.
They had an ice
We
cream.
can't have a story every time somebody
No,
says
no,
something.
this is quick. They had an ice cream truck come from 8 o'clock to 9:30, and the wedding's over at 10 o'clock. And the bride and groom go, "Well, you didn't play all our songs." Well, how could I when you had an hour and a half ice cream truck here?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And
Wow.
I'm standing there by myself. At least for the quinceañera, everything's boom, 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 boom. Everything's right down to the last T. Every T is crossed, every I is dotted.
Mhm.
A
All right, so
wedding,
let's
maybe
think
10
of this show as a quinceañera. So it's time for us to move on
Right,
to
we're
the next
done.
part. All right, it's time for us to shout out our chat leaderboard from last week. We had DJ Reese at number 1, DJ Kevin, DJ K Productions at number 2, Mikey Mike. I don't know how he always end up high on the chat
I don't know.
when he's supposed to be on the show talking and moving
I
things
just-
along. He
I
came
answered
in
a couple
third.
things.
And then the Shuffle Couple, he snuck in at number 4. Buddy from TPM Productions came in 5th. DJ Ready Fred 3767 came in 6th. Show Entertainment DJs came in at 7th, and DJ Troll came in 8th. And again, I'd like to thank.
Who's
What?
on Troll's picture?
We're not going to talk about that because I only need another video
I know.
made about me and DJ Tro. So I'd
just
like to
looked at that, like-
thank DJ Max Saint for
Yes,
joining us,
definitely, Max. Thank you.
and
Yeah, glad to be
also
part of this, man. Yeah.
also DJ Pretty Boy for taking his time after doing his show, jumping on.
Yes, definitely, pretty boy. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you guys for allowing me to speak here.
Send me the link to your show too. I want to check it out. So
Oh, great. Hey, I would like to have you on our show too, man.
that'd be
that'd
awesome.
great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool.
And if you haven't joined our Facebook group page, there's the long URL code, or you can just go to Facebook and type in Cue It Up DJ Podcast in the browser, and you can join our public group or private group. And again, I have the link to the chart and the ebook and the blog post, and then also I'll be posting a sample timeline of a quince. And then you can follow us on all of our socials. You can follow Mikey Mike at DJ Mikey Mike on Twitter and Facebook, and at DJ Mikey Mike 45 on Instagram. You can follow me at Hitman D Dub on all my socials. And then we have this thing called the DJ Collective Network. Let me move this stuff around so I can see it. And boom. Welcome to our primetime DJ lineup, a weekly schedule of live stream shows built for DJs by DJs. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, we got the knowledge, stories, and inspiration to help you level up. On Mondays at 9 o'clock p.m. on YouTube. For every DJ chasing dreams, no matter the odds, it's your time to spend with DJ Cool Thing. Then on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, join Buddy and his weekly guest panel of DJs for unfiltered conversations that matter. It's the DJ Roundtable with Buddy from TBM Productions. So if you missed the live Twitch stream, you can catch the rebroadcast the following Monday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on his YouTube channel at TBM Productions DJ1. And then on Wednesdays, it's your home for real talk about DJ gear, live performances, and industry culture. Join DJ James King and make YouTube great again by joining his King's Court DJ podcast every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on his YouTube channel at James.King HTX. And usually at 9 o'clock, he has a special guest. And last night he had Nick Nystrom on his show. Then on Thursdays, the busiest day of the week, You have the Cue It Up DJ podcast with me, the Hitman D-Dub, and DJ Mikey Mike on my YouTube channel at the Hitman D-Dub. And then at the same time, you have the Start to Spin DJ podcast hosted by DJ Pretty Boy and DJ Shay. And it's called the Start to Spin DJ podcast. And you can see that at La Ruckus Inc. His Diego's or DJ Pretty Boy's YouTube channel. And again, thank him for coming on to our show. And then Kevin, you can catch him live on the KJ Chill Room with Matt and Eric. And they go live every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. And you can join that stream by going to djntv.com/KJ Chill. And then our other friend, he has the Recreate the Vibes podcast, and his name is @DJ Reese _. And he talks about DJing in the corporate event, and he also talks about advertising. So make sure, And then also, we have another DJ friend, DJ Night Owl. So if you need a photo booth that actually stands out and not the same basic setup, well, DJ Night Owl has you covered with the new Omega booth. The Omega booth has a sleek design, LED lighting, and an infinity mirror look that makes it perfect for weddings, parties, and whatever you got going on. If you want your event to feel different, this is it. And eventually I'll get to opening mine up. But you can use our Cue It Up code and get $500 off the retail price of $2,495. But then also, you just watch DJ Pretty Boy's video, so you can learn how to ask your wife to get your to go buy it. It worked for me.
It works. It works.
And then also Sean has the Sigma video guest book at $7.95. You can get it in red, black, and white. And then he still has YouTube videos up on his channel, the DJ Biz School, where he talks about SEOs, marketings, and websites. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And also, as usual, I forget to tell people, make sure you like this video if you haven't done so already and share it. And our fade out message is, knowing the genres is only half the battle. You got to also know your crowd and the type of event that you're doing, because they go hand in hand. If you drop the ball on one, you're mainly setting yourself up for failure or a hard time. Mm-hmm. So with that said, we usually do our final thoughts, but I don't want to risk it because people are waiting for the link for the after show. So the links are there in your Instagram DMs. I just have to do send. I just didn't want people to pop in while we were still kind of live. So they'll be coming in shortly. So I hope everyone have a great week. Hopefully we'll see you all next week. Make sure to go out there and crush those gigs. And remember, before it's time to spin, you got to first cue it up.
Cue it up.
Good night.
Before the lights, 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 before the packed dance floors, before the name, cue it up, would mean anything. Been hustling over 30 years, working every single day. Music wasn't just a job, it was built in my DNA. The journey wasn't overnight.
I'm gonna hop on for my phone because I have to walk my dog.
There ain't no changing me, there ain't no changing me. Can only be me. The consistency stayed the same, even if they don't feel the same. Cause no matter how high I go, I'm still the same OG.
changing me. Can only be